Hello And welcome back. That was a not confident hello. Hold on, Pat. Pat, no one can hear you because I have to do the volume first of this. Sorry, man. No one can hear you.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, fine. How's it going? Happy New Year. 2022 is here, and I'm joined by Pat. How's it going, man?
Hey, everybody. Hey, it's me, Patrick. You know me.
Yeah. How's your holidays?
Yeah. No, they've been pretty good. I saw my family, and
So they did not have a good holidays, huh?
okay, that's. I mean, that's true, but yes. Thank you for that's a fun start.
I just want to let everyone know the kind of energy we're going to be squatting in today.
Yeah. Oh boy.
It is 2022. Ixron, how's it going? How long dynamic duo in 2022? It's a new year. It's totally different. We've decided to come up with a different dynamic. I'm going to be insulting constantly towards Pat, and he's just going to laugh it off for this whole year. That's the dynamic 2023. We're going to switch. So
yeah, I mean, I think like what I've done this year is I'm going to just kind of expose my emotional nerves to the air and feel what I'm meant to feel.
Oh, people want that. People love
people
to
need
hear
that from
yeah.
me. They really want that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
Pat Runner fan club. Ixron has a question, and this seems technical because there's a quotation with numbers in it. So how does MU actually work? If I have a botulus installed, I just wanted to end there. If I have a botulus installed and then I install mem strips, can I install endless hunger without trashing any programs? The rules.
I understand what they're saying.
The rules imply you can't reorder MU.
Mm-hmm. Wait, the rules imply that?
Okay, so if the rules imply that, that'd be a surprise to me.
Yeah, because I don't think each MU is hosting a program when you install a program. Like, that's not how I see it.
It's not as if you have slots and like you have slots for your mem strips and then you move things or on or off slots. It's just a number you have and you can choose to fill that up however you want. So if you have a card that gives you one MU, you can put a 2 MU card half on it, quote unquote, right? Like you just have a sum of MU. If the rules say different, let us know because that would be super weird.
Yeah.
Jingles, how's it going? Nice to catch stream today. Welcome. How's your new year been? It's still that annoying time of year where we have to say like haven't seen you since last year and all that awful stuff. Boy. And then we also have to make that referential joke about how that's happening.
And like I'm still writing 2020 on all my checks.
Yeah,
like, I haven't caught up yet. There we go.
Still writing checks. What kind of rules are we discussing?
Hey, I'm like 12 years older than you. I think I can write a check every now and then.
I had to find my checks today to check out where my bank is, and I don't think my bank is not where I thought it was, which was a nice surprise to find out.
Oh, I have to look it up every single time, and also my bank is like the only bank in the town that I got my account in. So
is that up north?
Yeah, exactly. It was like I had an RBC account, and then I was making money all of a sudden when I was in Dawson City, and I'm like, the nearest RBC is about an 8-hour hitchhike away. So
yikes!
Time to set up with CIBC.
That's my bank too. And actually, speaking of that, this is something I've been thinking about this year because like I think it would be nice for us. Okay, like it would be nice for us to have some sort of income from the show, right?
Oh, okay.
But I do think it feels bad when you kind of sell out to get a sponsorship, right? Like it in some ways it kind of feels tacky to some extent.
I mean, I fundamentally disagree. Obviously, I'm all for selling.
Yeah, no, me too. But nobody wants to. So what I was thinking specifically is instead of like promoting a product, if we spend like a consistent period of time every like stream to like shit talk a specific product, we might actually come to an agreement where they pay us not to talk about them.
That's a good idea.
It's like the best of both worlds. So I think if we want to spend 10 minutes to talk about how bad Tim Hortons is.
I think that you have reinvented extortion, and I'm absolutely with you on this one. Like, I'm completely there.
Okay, look, they used to be good when we were kids, right? And then at some point, everything became frozen. I think they have new management as of circa 10 years ago.
I'm pretty sure it's not owned. It's not Canadian owned, not for a long time.
Aren't they also owned? It's like the same company as another fast food chain because they have like combination lots.
Taco Bell? Maybe I know. I'm thinking about Taco Bell. We were talking about Taco Bell before.
Yeah. Anyways, it's not good. Don't shop there. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Ixron says 3.93a says is the rule that's confusing me. And the bad times reminder says you choose which MU you lose. Okay, so the bad times reminder, bad times is a card that says if you're tagged, you lose 2MU, right? Yeah. So when you lose that 2MU, you don't have to point at which hardware you lose. You just basically say, I need to go down from 4 to 2, and you choose which programs you trash to qualify that. There's still, outside of like hosting programs that specifically with cards that host things on things, like cards that like hardware that hosts programs on it, or like daemons, where your cards are installed does not matter for the MU that they take up. So I don't think there's any situation where it matters, which is kind of it's always a bit uneasy to make blanket statements with that, like that with a card game like this. But the difference with Bad Times is just basically says, it's not like which hardware you're interacting with. It just says, okay, now you have 2 MU. What cards do you want to lose? It doesn't exactly matter, right?
Yeah.
Burger King reverse merger.
Okay, more importantly though, not too long ago, maybe I was even talking with you about this, I found out about another Canadian restaurant chain that is named after a hockey player. Lafleur's, not actually named after the hockey player.
I have no idea what a Lafleur's is.
What, you don't know? It's like a greasy spoon. It's like you get the greasiest, wettest hot dogs. They just steam some hot dogs. They're super fluffy. You slap them in a wet bun. You like cover them in chopped onions and coleslaw, or whatever we do in Montreal.
This is the West Island life. I don't think this is Montreal.
No. They've got Lafleur's all over Quebec. They really, it's just like a Bell Pros. It's probably it's the greasier Bell. Imagine Bell Pros, but like you just like add 10% more grease to it. Like it's 10. Everything is 10% more flammable.
We are like really diving into niche content here. Bell Pro is always full.
Yeah, of course.
It's surprising to me. Happy Thursday. Clearly, I arrived at the best times. Actually, this is the bad times, unfortunately. But
yeah.
How's it going?
Oh, there we go. Mala tempora, as I always say.
I just need to say hi, Clinton. How's it going? Welcome to stream. I'm looking forward to stream tonight. We're gonna have a fun one tonight for sure. Solomir, what kind of weird MBU finagling are we doing that's bringing up the questions with this? I'm not exactly sure, but Ixorin says, just been playing a lot of Cube and lots of weird, mostly theoretical rules questions come up. Yeah, and as far as MBU goes, I don't think Nisei made a change to that. So it works the same way it worked when the game came out, which is just you have MBU, and what programs you assign to which part of MU is not a question you ever have to answer. Again, besides things, what's that one card from Creation and Control which can host a program with 1 MU? Well, not Dinosaurs, but the other one. Yeah, there was like this like arm thing that gave you a credit.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking. I don't remember the name. I wish I did.
Alex Paterma says Hostess has also been complete garbage. Oh, it is OmniDrive, yes. So like cards like Dinosaurus, if you lose your Dinosaurus, you lose the thing. If you lose OmniDrive, you lose the thing that's on it. But otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Right. But yeah, those are specifically hosting programs, of course.
Yeah.
And they don't actually give you MU. They just refer to MU as
that's true.
Useful metric.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I just Googled Damon. That's not going to work. I'm not going to do that.
It's DAMON. He was one of the designers on the game.
Damn it. Nothing shows up.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Anywho.
Yeah. Well, here we are.
I guess we're here now. So the deck of the week. It's awkward. Because like this is a Edge of World deck, which is a deck that Sanjay put together, and Sanjay is a lovely guy and he writes a lovely write-up. But the problem with this deck is that it's not only non-startup legal, it's not standard legal. And so basically,
is it Eternal legal?
Yeah, it's really hard not to be Eternal legal, right?
Sure. I mean, I haven't looked at what the most recent Eternal.
Oh, like recent Eternal. Yeah, it definitely is. There's like no power cards in this deck.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it has like Pad Factory in it. I think we're going to be in good territory.
Yeah, Pad Factory gives you back points to spend on Caprice and stuff like that. So
this is cool. This deck actually spends 2 influence on Pad Factory, which is a thing you can do. But I
can see why in Saraswati that makes some sense.
It makes some sense.
Yeah,
I guess. But this deck is an Edge of World deck, and this is a lot of people's like one of their favorite pet cards back in the day. It's no longer legal. It hasn't been a legal card in a really long time. This is back from Genesis, right?
Yeah, for sure. Was this in Trace Amount alongside like Fetal AI? I think I can't remember exactly.
It was in the 3rd pack.
You know, I can just look this up.
So it's in Cyber Exodus. It says on the screen. So basically, this is an unadvanceable trap, and when you access it, you take a lot of brain damage. Potentially 3-4 brain damage. This deck runs Jinja City Grid as singleton, just so you can get big old iced servers, so you can do a lot of brain damage. There's also what is the name of that other upgrade that reduces your hand size?
And it's the Valley Grid.
Yeah, Valley Grid.
Do you remember? Do you remember
Yes,
once on
yes,
stream we
yes.
were host? Okay, good, cool.
Oh no, no, I thought you were going to mention your deck because I know you played Valley Grid for a really long
Oh
time.
yeah, I did play like a Valley Grid cybernetic, well, like the
Yes.
HB that also yeah. But I remember playing with you on stream once where we got hosed because we forgot how Valley Grid works and like at the same time like the realization hit us.
Ah,
People need to clip this show more often.
oh man. 3.9.3a, installing a program does not permanently consume memory. That's a weird sentence. The program claims its designated quantity of memory until it becomes uninstalled, at which point those memory units become available for use by other programs. If it claims its memory until uninstalled, would the type of memory matter, hence the virus-only MU in the question? Yes and no. Actually, the virus-only question is interesting. So it claims its designated quantity of memory, but it doesn't claim its specific address of memory. And that's exactly the idea, right? Like if it's a 2MU program, it takes 2 of your 5MU. Which 2 of the 5? That's irrelevant. Say you have 5MU, right? So it does claim the quantity, but it doesn't claim an address, right? Now, when you play cards like, from my understanding, cards that give you virus-only memory, like what's the chip that gives you virus memory?
Well, no, we were talking about mem strips, right?
Yeah, mem strips.
And Knob Curry is the console that only gives. And Deep Red, was Deep Red only for Kaisa?
Yeah, I think so. So stuff like this that give you only for virus programs, if this gets trashed, you can rearrange your memory any way that you want. So say that you have installed this and you have 7 memory and you've got some amount of programs and some amount of virus programs. When this gets trashed, you're not forced to trash the virus programs. You can shuffle your memory as long as when you're done, you have 4 memory left. So there is still no sort of like address allocation sort of stuff when it comes to memory.
Mm-hmm.
Clinton, I'm a Netrunner noob, but Nisei brought me to Netrunner, and now I'm a Netrunner for life. I'm ready to learn for you
Great,
both.
yeah.
That's really cool to hear.
Honestly, I'm always really excited to see that Nisei themselves, like it's not just Netrunner as a whole game, but Nisei's own outreach is like getting people into the game again. I think that's really fun.
Yeah,
Anyway, hi Clinton. We're gonna teach you how to play bad. So
as
sorry.
a joke.
No, it's always a joke. It's like, new year, new us. We're kind of a comedy stream now.
Yeah.
We do a lot of like improv.
I gotta Pagliacci. 3.93c apparently covers when MU drops and you're forced to trash programs. I'm not sure what exactly it says, but I have no doubt that that'll iron it out. In terms of like Nisei outreach, I don't know what that looks like, but I know when specifically System Gateway went out, they went out their way to like send copies of this to whatever people that have internet presence in the board game space, I guess, the geek space in general. Yeah. But also like they were recently at PAX Unplugged. So I've no doubt there's a bunch of people that might have walked into the booth and got into Netrunner just recently. And if you are one of those people, firstly, I would love to hear how you got into the game. Secondly, how intimidating it is and what your experience has been like so far and what you're excited about. But like, as much as possible on this stream, again, maybe we should just slate because it's the beginning of a new year. We do try and like keep things as accessible as possible. We try to explain exactly what we're doing and what we're not doing. But it's most importantly, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, whether it's live or whether you're doing it in the like YouTube comments. And I think one of the biggest things too is if you can participate either in the comments or in the live chat, you get to meet people. Like the community for this game is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And like if you're worried you have a dumb question, don't worry. We will tell you if it's dumb. Got you.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Anyway, Clinton, if you could let us know how you came to Netrunner, I'd be really interested to hear.
Yeah. Also, Floofy, how's it going? Speaking about good community.
Hey
Andre. Hey Pat. How you doing? Again, so the deck list of the week we're just not going to be playing. Normally that's what we're forced to do, but this is an interesting deck. The write-up goes through it, exactly what you want to do with this deck. The idea is that you can put advancement counters on cards, either with the ability of Saraswati mnemonics, or whether you can Memstrips deck, or whether you can advance Edge of World through other ways. Pat Rez's Gatekeeper? I don't. Oh, I see. Okay, very good. Very good.
Just trying to keep people out of the game, keep it pure.
Because if you got into this game, let us know who you are and we'll decide.
Exactly. If you deserve to be here, really.
2023 is going to be a good year, let me tell you. Memstrips was DDM. DDM isn't legal anymore, though. It has been in a while. Memstrips was a card. Memstrips actually was an interesting card. Seabass, how's it going? Happy New Year. Memstrips honestly was a bit of a meme card for a while. And I don't know exactly what the history was, but Memstrips was like the 46th or 45th card in a tournament deck that did really, really well. Did it win Worlds? I forget. But
like
Memstrips
in the world-winning deck, I can't remember.
I forget what tournament it was, but there was like a tournament deck list in which somebody added Memstrips in a virus anarch of some sort, and people were like, "That's the worst card in the deck," and everyone agreed it was still the worst card in the deck, but the deck performed. And so if we search Memstrips, there should be only one competitive deck that shows up.
Yeah.
That's like highly like decorated. Yeah, everyone deserves a chance. Third seed of Worlds. This is Dean's
Oh,
Memstrip
Dean. Yeah, of
Val. Yeah,
course.
okay. Actually, ooh, Leisure Games London third place. Looks like we have some Memstrips in that. There's a couple. Okay, this is a deep red armor. Okay.
Hmm.
Interesting. Blitzkrieg Bop, first card Kingdom. Okay, so actually I undervalued how much people enjoyed Memstrips. But I think the one that we were really thinking of was Dean's list here, which was just like good stuff Val back in the day.
Yeah.
This
And
was before
obviously a whole lot of, and not even a huge number of virus programs, oddly enough. Like, is Atman virus? No, Atman's
no,
not
it's
virus.
just an AI. That's a lot of viruses,
They're like,
man.
well, Data Sucker, Parasite, Medium. That's just, oh, and Clot.
Clot. But like you play two Parasite, two Data Suckers if you're playing admin, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Deep Dive is a cool card. Can't wait for the booster. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a bit. The new spoiled card reminded me of deep data mining. It kind of is. It reminds me a lot of Hushik. I'm actually interested to hear what everyone thinks about that. Why don't we talk about that actually right now?
You want to talk about that right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, okay. How about you talk about it, and I'm gonna keep on thinking about what the hell we're gonna do this stream. Oh God.
No. We know.
Oh, we know. Okay, cool.
Extern says interesting stuff. I figured there wasn't any difference from the old rules, but it seems like there could be an example specifically for gated in quotes MU. Maybe I'm just not good at parsing Nisei legalese. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't, for what it's worth, dived into the new Nisei rules. I kind of am just the sort of person who gets like people say like, oh, did you heed this new rule change? And then we like play infinite gank decks for 3 months running. so it's it's I haven't gone through and reread everything. I'm just kind of more interested to know what they changed, and I don't think that's something they changed.
Yeah, like the last time they did a major change, I did read through the updates, but I didn't really understand the significance of a lot of them because I'm not like as deep into it as a lot of the highest level players are. I'm not like aware of what the meta meme stuff is always.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's certainly there's sometimes of the year when I really am, but not this latest time.
Frank says, "Hey Pat and Andre, yo Frank, happy birthday." I said
Hey.
happy birthday instead of happy New Year. Dang it. Hope you guys are doing great.
Maybe it's his birthday. We don't know. I don't want to say it is.
Shoot your shot. You might as well, yeah. Alex's controversial opinion: drop decklist of the week, replace it with replay analysis of a previous week's game. That's interesting. I think that's only relevant to do if we have a good replay, and to some extent, I feel like we should be spending more time on this channel doing replay analysis. We did like one, maybe a year ago at this point, and it went pretty well in terms of the reception of it. I think there was a lot to learn from that replay, but it's the sort of thing where you need a replay that you can talk about. It's not always possible, but I do hear you when it comes to like doing more of that. Deep dive looks bad. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Seabass, obviously we cannot wish you happy birthday because of what that was yesterday, and we are only wishing Frank happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Frank.
Chat.
I'll take the birthday. Hey, happy New Year to you guys. Seabass, happy birthday. How was it? Congrats.
Come on.
This part of me doesn't get why people are so hyped for deep dive, but they think Hushik is trash. Okay, let's do it. So Nisei did the thing that we all wanted them to do. They dropped their first spoiler, and not only is the spoiler interesting, but the dates attached to the spoiler are very, very important. So if you don't know, Nisei.net does do news, and they've actually been posting a fair bit recently. Hold on, I can't move our faces. I think I locked it. Yeah, I locked it. 1 sec. They've been actually posting a lot. They're doing a bit of a recruiting drive right now. Quick facts about joining Nisei. They've talked about some new people who are in some of the roles. Check that out. But the one we're clicking on is announcing the Midnight Sun booster pack. So I think there's 3 big pieces of news here. First is that we know Borealis is the next cycle that's coming out. It'll be released in 2 parts, about, I don't know, I'm imagining 65-ish cards in each set, 60, 65-ish, somewhere around that. But first thing to announce is that they've changed the name of the first part of it, right?
Yeah.
It used to be called Borealis, which seemed bad.
Terrible. It's like calling the first data pack ever released Genesis. Like, did you get Genesis? And I'm like, I'm confused. I'm terrified. Also,
I see what you've done. Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to criticize Nisei too much, but Midnight Sun as a name for a pack was right there the whole time.
It's really good. Yeah.
Midnight Sun is I don't know. Maybe I just heard that a lot growing up because I've got family there, but feels like right there. Anyway, I am happy that they changed that. It's going to be less confusing for everyone.
Yes. So if you don't understand how it used to work, is the whole like cycle was being called Borealis, but then the first pack from it was also going to be called Borealis, which now if you do something like a RAM, random access memories, and you say the legal thing is Borealis, and you're like, what is that? Which one? So I'm glad that they renamed it Midnight Sun Booster Pack. So get ready for that name because that's a product that's going to drop. And talking about a product that's going to drop, it's February. Is that what they said?
Yeah. So I'm actually I was confirming also that yes, the Midnight Sun is going to be 65 cards. They have
Cool.
announced that
Excellent, excellent,
for
excellent.
sure. But
So
yeah, this is February.
that's like next week, literally in 3 weeks. In a month. The set the pack available in the first quarter of 2022, hopefully February. So who knows? First quarter is 3 months. That's how it works. So it's honestly pretty soon, which is fantastic. So that means, well, generally that means I have no information on the inside track here, but that means we should see spoiler season maybe within a month. And then you start seeing more cards coming out if Nisei is doing a spoiler season, and then eventually you get the thing, that's amazing. That's really cool. I think people are definitely waiting on new cards. After Worlds, the meta kind of slows down, so people, want something new and fresh, and I think RAM has been very good for that, but we're gonna have new cards real soon, which is fantastic. Changeling, how's it going? Happy New Year. Also, Dunch, how you doing? Oh, those are some fun emotes. I don't even know what those are. That's a little platypus. I'm into that.
I got a platypus, got a boop,
I think
and
it's a
a
boop.
platypus. I don't know.
Clinton says, I was aware of Netrunner, but Nisei's Twitter looped me in. I just got it after buying all the Nisei offerings on drive-through cards. I am pumped for Borealis. Cool. Heck yeah. Okay, that's super cool. Nice. I think they mean the 7 cards are coming out in February. Wait.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, did you think that Midnight Sun was February?
Yes.
No, you're very wrong.
Have you ever watched a man deflate on the internet live? Are you serious?
No.
Okay, so it's a booster pack, just like we had for the other thing.
Yeah.
So like 1 card per faction.
Yes, 7 new cards coming sometime, possibly February.
Okay.
And right. I'm guessing they're doing that because they probably haven't finalized the text and the art for Midnight Sun. But if they have 7 cards ready to go by February and they've been working on this for a while, maybe that means, I don't know. Do I even want to speculate? I feel like if they're releasing a booster pack,
we're so factually inaccurate to date. I don't know why we would stop at speculation.
Yeah, that's true. We don't even know how long weeks are anymore.
No.
Weeks are months, like rectangles and squares, and no, I would guess that that means Midnight Sun is probably May.
Anywho, I'm still happy about this, but gonna wait a bit longer.
I've got it.
Hold on. Yeah.
If they release Midnight Sun on the summer solstice, when there is a Midnight Sun,
that's June 21st. Cool.
Yes, that's June 21st.
You could have gone for a sooner day.
I could have, but wouldn't it be more interesting to release Midnight Sun during the summer solstice? Anyway, I'll obviously, as Nisei's head of marketing, I'll be
okay.
I'll be looking to shake that up.
Firstly, how's it going, everybody? Yo, you sound good. How you doing? Midnight Sun is not February. Sorry, Andre. Yeah, I know. Okay, I'll figure it out at some point. I gotta read things more carefully. I used to be really good at reading comprehension when I was in elementary school. So
yeah, no, of course
I've only been coasting from there. So what the booster packs are basically 7 cards. Looks like it's gonna be 1 card for every faction. They've done this once before. There was a booster pack for for Downfall, right? Or was it for Uprising?
No,
it was for Downfall.
It's Uprising. It's right there. Hey, reading comprehension. Yeah.
No, it's behind. It's behind the camera, so you can't really see it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, they released it just before Worlds, right?
Exactly. So we had 7 new cards to work with, and they were pretty fun. They were generally very powerful cards. Their cards actually showed up at Worlds decks, which is really cool. So this is them giving you a taste of the flavor. I don't think we're going to see identities. I'd be pretty surprised if we'd see identities, but we're going to see 7 cards. And speaking of seeing cards, we see our first card from the Borealis cycle. We don't see art, sort of. We actually do see art if you figured it out. But we have a Shaper event. It's called Deep Dive. Talking about Shaper events just as a whole have been being pushed very heavily over the last year and a bit. We've seen things like Anacom, more like event economy, so it's kind of cool to see that for a faction that's classically been a bit slower, more about setup. But it costs 4 influence, it's 4 influence. Yeah, it costs 2 credits to play, and it says play only if you made a successful run on HQ, R&D, and archives. So we've seen maybe half a dozen of these cards that I'm just gonna keep calling them the notoriety cards. The basically the 1-turn gold. Nisei even referred to it by
by Quest, right?
Yeah, Quest,
there was
that was the first one.
The Anar card was Quest.
Quest completed.
Quest completed, exactly.
And says the corp must set aside the top 8 cards of R&D face up. That's actually interesting terminology. Access one of those cards. So you look at 8, you pick one of them, you access it. You may spend a click to access another one of those cards. Then the corp shuffles the set aside cards back into R&D. So firstly, if you make 3 successful runs on all the central servers, you get a look at the top 8 and access a card. You'll not always get an agenda, but you'll usually get an agenda when you're seeing 8 cards.
Absolutely, yeah.
Usually, you'd be like really in a bad spot if you didn't see an agenda there.
Yeah, you might even get one from the previous 3 runs.
It'd be nice.
There's always like that chance. Um, now,
Now,
having a click left over
yes, because if you do
is,
if you
is a trick.
if you do the math there, you spend 1
Mhm.
click to run each of the central servers, 1 click to play the event. You only got 4 clicks on a turn. So how are you going to get a 5th click? Well, let me tell you. Classically, Shaper had ways to do it. I don't know whether in the card pool they will still naturally have ways to get extra clicks, but if that's not the case, do they? No, they're losing. We're losing Mumbad, right?
Yeah, Moonbat Moonbat and Order and Chaos are rotating not with this pack. So this
Yeah.
pack will be alongside Moonbat, but Midnight Sun will rotate Moonbat.
Okay, so I don't know if we have cards besides Beth, Kilrain Cheng that will actively give you additional clicks, but Nisei's confirmed, this is my reading comprehension, that there is going to be a cybernetics hardware for Shaper. Actually, maybe not necessarily for Shaper, but that you'll be basically, there'll be a card in the pack that will be able to give you an additional click when you need it. So in theory, if everything's set up, you run 3 central servers and then look at the top 8 cards of R&D and try and take 2 agendas. Okay. What do you think, Bet?
I think it's cool. I think like it has the potential to be a game ender, which these kind of quest cards should. But compared to some other cards that shapers have access to for deep dives on R&D, I don't know. I don't think it compares favorably to say Hushuk,
Yeah.
right? At least in the mid to late game, when Hushuk is set up, it's just better.
Oh,
When
Richard.
if you can do deep dive in the first couple of turns, which is possible before the corp is really set up, that's amazing.
I don't think that's amazing. I think that's bad, right? Like, think about it. Okay, so you have to, in the early game where you're trying to set up, you're making 3 runs. It's sure if R&D and HQ are both open, which I think is unlikely in the early game, and running archives is probably useless, then you're paying 2 credits, you're not setting up just to see 8 cards and then shuffling. And shuffling is a really big deal, right? Because you're not locking the top of the deck. If you Maker's Eye, you see the top 3 cards, and then you know what they're going to draw, which gives you information. It means they're not going to draw agendas in the next couple turns. Like, that's really valuable. So this is incredibly expensive, and, obviously has a chance to whiff, but again, what doesn't? Just real quick, Richard, how's it going? Said Swift, and Swift is a possibility. Yeah, you could play a run event and get a click back with Swift, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, in fact, how long can you make a name says you could Hushuk and then deep dive on the same turn,
which is good. And so
which would be great. Yeah.
This card, I think, directly compares to 3 things, right? The first one is Encore. And Encore saw very niche play in certain cards. Oh, not Encore. I didn't even mean to say Encore. I meant to say, what's the other one? Notoriety, right? Honestly, Encore, obviously, as well, gives you another turn for doing those 3 things, which shows up in combo decks that we played them last week. Like, last year, you just take like 4 turns in a row or whatever. But Notoriety is a really big one, right? Out of the Ashes is another huge one, yeah, as well. Out of the Ashes works really well.
It will rotate once Midnight Sun is here, but in the meantime, it still works well for this card.
Oh,
it's Moonbat, right?
Excuse me, yeah, that's true. Is it still legal?
Yeah, but Moonbat is still legal.
Not when this comes out. Right now it is.
Right now it is, and when this card comes out in the Midnight Sun pack, it will still be.
Wait, what's rotating? Order and Chaos and
Moonbat.
But this is in Moonbat.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm not upset.
The booster pack.
New year, new me. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not getting upset and not frustrated.
Yes.
I'm happy for my friend, even though he's a little bit slow sometimes. Catches up eventually.
Who are you talking about?
Stuart.
Honey teases when you run R&D, you see the top card anyways, which is actually a good point too. It's kind of like seeing 7 cards if you saw the top card and you didn't trash it. Anyways, Out of the Ashes will be alive for a while, but once the actual cycle comes out, the actual like data pack set, whatever you want to call it, it won't be legal. So yes, you're right. But anyways, Notoriety is where we're at. And Notoriety did see some niche play, and Notoriety is potentially a really cool card. And a big reason why Notoriety is a potentially powerful card when it comes to like ending a game, which is I reckon what you want to do with Deep Dive, because if Deep Dive whiffs, you're in a really awkward spot. You probably paid a lot of money, and let alone obviously a whole turn. Is that if you can get to 6 agenda points, this is the 7th agenda point almost guaranteed as long as you can trigger it. And that's a really big deal because right now a lot of agenda suites are in 2-point decks, right? Like we're talking about Global Food Initiative. People are not running as many 3-pointers right now because we have things like Mad Dash in the meta. But Global Food Initiative is scored as a 2-pointer. So there's a lot of decks where you need to score 4 agendas. And Notoriety is cute. Score 3,
Yeah.
notoriety, you win. And I feel like you're going to find yourself in a lot of situations where you're going to do the same thing, get to maybe 2 agendas, maybe 3 agendas, and then try and win the game with deep dive. So it's similar to notoriety in some ways. Deep dive's a combo with mad dash. Yeah, essentially, it doesn't work at all. It's mad dash is a run event, so you can't combo the two.
Mm-hmm.
The other card it's very similar to is Hushuk, and Hushuk actually doesn't see a lot of play. And Hushuk is a very comparable card. It costs 1 more, and Hushuk requires you to set up, install a lot of things, which honestly I think is a lot easier than running, all 3 central servers and a lot of decks, especially if decks are like teching against that sort of thing. This sees 6 cards and has the same clause. You choose one, you access it, and you shuffle them back. Now, 8 is bigger than 6, but if you ran R&D, you're seeing the top card anyways, so sometimes it's only like at 7 cards. Sure, you could access 2, and I think you need to make this deep dive like really, nice. Because if you see 2 cards, that's actually, you can win off of being only on 4 points somewhat consistently. But Hushuk sees no play because it's a bit slow. And I think people like the constant pressure of cards that don't shuffle, where you can lock the top of the deck, things like Conduit or Stargate, stuff like that. But I feel like Hushuk a lot of times just feels like a stronger card. But again, we don't know what's coming. We don't know what it comes in this Midnight Sun thing.
Yeah, like Asynchron is saying that Deep Dive doesn't require to set up with wonky cards, but I think like typically I saw Hushuk used with like two cost cards. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of decent stuff for shapers at 2. Like already you've got 3 Rizekis,
Yeah, I
and
think, yeah,
like
I totally agree.
I don't think it's hard to get to a decent Hushuk number using good cards.
Yes, exactly. I totally agree. I don't think you need to go out of your way to do ridiculous things. Like some people are doing the weird 4-cost Hushuk stuff like that, right? But I think there's some very reasonable ones. You can do 1 and 2 on stealth pretty well. You can do 2 in just about anything. 4 shows up. You have to play kind of a lot of clunkers because 4 is just expensive, and you have to install a lot of 4-cost cards. It's kind of hard. So just playing 1 or 2-cost cards generally gets you there. Could be interesting to imp stuff, maybe. Yeah, it's okay. You're accessing a card, so you could imp, you could trash something, but like looking at the top 8 of the deck and then imping something and then shuffling it, like at that point, it wasn't necessarily that they're going to draw the card anyways, so destroying it doesn't really seem relevant, Hushuk works well in Crim with the 2-cost cards. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people could play this, and this is much less influence as well. Now, the last one this has to be always compared to, which is a bummer, is Apocalypse. Yeah, Apocalypse is kind of good. It's kind of really good.
Apocalypse is kind of better.
Kind of good.
I feel like Deep Dive. If Deep Dive works, it'll end the game. Whereas Apocalypse can sometimes give your opponent the chance to like recover.
Yes. That's the cool thing is that it tries to close the game. Apocalypse just tries to like hit the game really hard with a baseball bat. Like it's likely that you're still going to win the game. But you still need to work at that point, and there's a chance that Deep Dive just closes it, which is cool.
Yep.
Sanger says, I just don't buy installing 6 cards that much easier than running a single ice HQ as shaper. I hear you, but like it's not just that, right? Like you have to make 3 successful runs and then play this card for, I don't know. It depends. I think shaper's still good at like putting cards on the table in a pretty efficient way, so we'll see. Dave, excuse me. I think the new card is going to be too strong, to be honest. It feels really comparable to Hushuk, and we see no Hushuk whatsoever. I'm interested to know whether shapers are just going to be like really aggro and like set up really quickly, and whether you're going to see like, oh, Mayfly, and then I'm going to somehow run all 3 servers, or like Euler. And that's a good thing, actually. Like cards like Euler are really good at doing this like quest completist sort of thing. Any of these cards or what's the other one? Gauss. Any of these cards that come in and are very easy or very efficient the turn they come in are very strong when your turn is like an incredible turn. The idea is that you install an Euler and a Gauss and then you run everything for like pennies. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Oh, the other major difference that I didn't even think about at first was when you play Apocalypse, your whole rig is shut down. Whereas with Deep Dive,
but like
that isn't the case. Like, that's I know. Usually, if you're playing Apocalypse, you're also going to be prepared to deal with that.
If you're playing Apocalypse, you're generally okay with it. And like Shaper, you have simul chips, like you'll be fine. I get that it can be a bit clumsy, but you'll be fine.
Yeah.
If you use Deep Dive to really win, you're either far ahead or have really good econ with just my feeling right now. It potentially, yes. And like the question is there a reason to ice up archives? Because if suddenly there is ice on archives in every single game, this gets a bit trickier. It definitely does. But we'll see.
Yeah. Quentin is asking, is quick gain a viable game mechanic long term? Seems fine in the short term, but seems like this might be scary to proliferate great in the Nisei era. I mean, for on the runner side, I don't think we've rarely ever seen consistent click gain.
Well, Beth is
I,
kind of wild.
but yeah, but I guess that's true. Yeah.
Like there was an era where like people would just pay 3 influence to put Beth in like Leela decks, and it was just
Yeah,
kind of the
for
best
sure.
way to spend 3 influence because no matter what, this card is just good. Any mode that fires, and gaining a click a turn is monstrous. It is just straight up monstrous. But all the other click gain cards have been like very clunky or come with a straight trade off, and there hasn't been that many ways to like really abuse having a lot of clicks. Having a lot of clicks consistently, yes, but like just the base mechanic, like what is the name of that university or whatever it was that basically says like you can spend a click now to get a click back later, or is it liberated something?
Like a Liberated Cella, maybe? Is that what you're thinking of?
No, that's the one that it works with.
Yeah.
Temple of the Liberated Mind. Hyperdriver is sick. I hear nothing against it. Hyperdriver is incredible. Hyperdriver is so good, but that's the idea. It's like bursty as opposed to overtime. And Hyperdriver was a bit too easy to play, I think. But Temple of the Liberated Mind, this card's been around forever, and like nobody uses it. Maybe you see some niche Atom decks so they don't get logic bombed into border control really hard. But like nobody will play this. Like even what's it called, All Nighter. Like nobody played that, as far as I understand.
Yeah.
But anything that just gives you consistent clicks over time, yeah, it seems inherently problematic. Deep Dive will be great against the horizontal corp decks that annoy most people. CTM. I think if that's the case though, like you might as well just play Apocalypse, right? Like if you're playing a horizontal deck, Apocalypse is just the way to go. And this card is 4 influence. Like the fact that this card is more influence than Apocalypse, I think that more speaks about how under influenced Apocalypse is.
Yeah, I was about to say it's nothing against Deep Dive. It's nothing against Apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah, by a mile. So All Nader was decent in Haley. It was okay. Yeah, it was fine. It was fine in Haley. That's for sure. All Nader feels quite okay. It's okay. Haley decks played it because she could play clicklessly, but like I don't think it's a card you were excited about in that deck. I feel like I'd rather install a lot of times like a Fall Guy or something. Cards that allow you to win more when you're ahead should be overcosted a bit, so I hope new cards like this into account. I'm not actually sure that this is a win more card, because this is actually like that's kind of in some ways the inherent beauty of Netrunner is like anything you do costs resources that puts you behind. Right? Like if you spend your whole turn running 3 servers, spending money, and you go for this Haymaker, and it whiffs, like you're in a bad spot. If you get one agenda and that's not enough, you're in a bad spot. And I think Haymaker is actually a word that the Nisei folk use a lot. They want a lot of these like flashy, powerful abilities that makes it feel like you're trading blows more than it is just like consistent value over time, which you'll see in things like Beth Kilrain Chang or even, I don't know, Fencer Fueno or more Paladin Puemo and like Rizeki. Like this. And that was kind of the issue with Ashes. When Ashes came out, it was just kind of more like who can squeeze more economy out of the game. And it just became a grind of value over time. You just put as many value cards into your deck and games were pretty long. And they wanted to be a bit more flashy and a bit more explosive. So I think things like Deep Dive can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Ideally, you're making other runs count too, 100%. But like it's hard to make an Archives run count. Even a HQ run in Shaper is like not incredibly relevant. And then how are you making an R&D run count? Because like if you're doing multi-access, you want multi-access with shuffle, because otherwise you're kind of,
right. It's redundant at that point.
Yeah, Red Team is actually like the ideal candidate by a mile, and maybe we need more reasons to play Red Team. Red Team would be so good. Equivocation, yeah, Equivocation's nice. Is that going to be around? It's in martial law. Yeah, it'll be around. But like we played last week where we had those turns where we had 5-click turns, and then we played triple encore, and then we just equivocate and conduit and just win. And like you can still do that. And that's kind of the issue. Is like if you could run all 3 centrals with a bunch of clicks left, what stops you from just like encoring out? But encore might not be legal for that much longer, considering it was only unbanned for Worlds at least.
Yeah. Imp would also be fun. Like just imp the top card. You're going to be seeing 8 new ones.
Sure. What else shuffles? There must be ways to shuffle, like Analog Dreamers or something silly. But this actually you have to run a remote, right? Oh, on RD.
Yeah,
on RD, just shuffles. Got him. Yeah, I don't know. It's honestly like it's a cool card. It's not a card that I think it's not a card I'm excited to play, because it's also worth noting like there's a huge history of all these like run every server cards, and a lot of them didn't see play. Like it's just hard to have that condition attached to something and it not be Apocalypse, right? Like what is the one that de-reses 3 ice?
Yeah, the criminal one. It was in the Mars cycle, and I cannot remember what it was.
It's ass. It's really quite bad.
Yeah.
But like it was like, why would you? It said the same thing. Like only play this after you've run Exploit. Yo, thanks, Jeff. It'd be like, why would you run all this third stuff and then just play Exploit when you could play Apocalypse, right? Like it just, why would you play Quest Completed when you can play Apocalypse? That being said, Quest Completed did see some niche play because you could play it with like Eater and stuff. Stargate doesn't shuffle? Yeah, Stargate doesn't shuffle. Yeah, it's weird. But Stargate's cool because if you Stargate and then pull a card out from archives, then run like, it's slightly better, but then you're still only seeing like 6 new cards?
Time to bring back Feint. I ran some decks that I ran a noise deck that used Feint and Hemorrhage, I think. Just like constantly get tokens on Viri.
You could play Gabe, right?
Yeah, I could have.
Yeah.
You're right. But I didn't.
I do like that this card is engendering so much conversation. And maybe that's just because we haven't seen new cards in a long time, but like it's a very interesting card. And I think there's arguments to be like, why is this a powerful card or why this is like, a bit of an unimpressive card, but I'm excited to see. And I guess the last thing I want to say, and because they didn't show art. If you open this image is labeled as Deep Dive. Now it might just be labeled that because it's the title, but you might see what the art looks like. It's a bit.
It looks like a humanoid kind of crashing into something.
Diving into something, yeah.
Dive. Oh my goodness.
Oh, deeply.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. You see like a head there in like a diver's helmet, perhaps, but like there's a displacement map going on top of this, but you can kind of see what things look like, which is cool. Like if they have art of this already, which I reckon if they're trying to release this in a month, they probably should. But that's great. There have been some art shared on GLC2 in the spoilers channel. Are you serious?
Oh, I didn't even realize, and I don't.
Do you have links? I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I'd actually like to see some of those.
Chenchik says I kind of like it Splash and Crim to be H. Yeah, and like Crim has a really good reason to run, obviously HQ, sometimes archives, but it's 4 influence, so who knows? Cool card. Anyways, so 7 cards are coming out in a bit. Apologies, I got overexcited. Oh, it's just a better version of that. Oh, that's really cool. Okay. Not other art. Okay, cool.
Oh, it looks like that art is from Cat. Cool.
No way. Oh, super cool. So Cat
work in progress is by the amazing Cat Shen, said Spencer. Excellent.
So Cat is Kizra. I'm gonna say a fan of the channel. Unscientifically. Oh, there's even fishies in it. But Cat did all the art for like all the Anarch stuff in System Gateway, or like the majority of the Anarch stuff in System Gateway. I think it was like everything besides the ID and Wildcat Strike.
It was certainly all the programs were all the programs for each faction were done by single artists.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, which is a really cool way of doing things to make sure things have like a coherent kind of.
Yeah, that was a really smart idea.
Tone and theme. I'm a big fan. Cool. That's good. I think we can just touch some other news before we get into deck building. I just wanted to shout this out real quick. Sokka 234. You might know Sokka. I forget the title. Was Sokka the reigning Canadian national champion or the former Canadian national champion? But Sokka has done his first stream as of last week. Streamed the Ram on Saturday, and Sokka is going to be streaming, if I'm not mistaken, every Friday is the promise he's made. This will be like a second stream, so be kind, tune in. It'll be Fridays at I believe 9 o'clock his time zone, which is 7 o'clock Eastern. So if you want to check that out, it's Sokka234. Sokka's a really nice dude. Twitch.tv/Sokka234. This will be in the notes, and also on YouTube under Sokka234. He should be uploading the VODs as well if you can't dive in live. So do check that out.
This begs an interesting question. Like we hope Netrunner grows. We hope there's more people making content and talking about Netrunner. Someday someone's going to take a Thursday 9 p.m. slot.
Sure.
And what are we going to do with that?
Oh, it's fine. Though it's happened before.
No, it isn't. It is not fine.
Speaking of that, Yusengren streams, like we shouted Yusengren a lot. Yusengren streams like I think maybe an hour and a half before our stream starts, which is a nice like little transition. If you want to watch a lot of Netrunner on a Thursday night. Yusengren says I think 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. his time. Okay, cool. That's what I thought it was, which is great. I think you guys are evaluating Deep Dive pretty reasonably. We like to be reasonable. Anywho, we're gonna build a deck. I wanted to focus on the stream's called Gordon, which Pat, can you just talk? I actually searched Gordon.
You actually typed in Gordon. Okay. So yeah, it's obviously Gordon Gord is a particularly Canadian name. It's a diminutive form of Gordon, which is just a fun, I guess, masculine name. A lot of famous Gords down through history.
There's a lot of famous Canadian Gordians, Pat. Do you have a Gord rap list?
Let's see what I got. Gord Downey, lead singer and songwriter of the Tragically Hip, of course. Gord Sinclair, bass guitarist of the Tragically Hip, of course.
There's Gordon 2 Gords in Tragically Hip?
I just did Gord the Tragically Hip to start with.
Okay, yeah, cool.
That's how Canadian the name Gord is. There's 2 in the Tragically Hip. Gordon Lightfoot, some people just call Gord. I
Gord.
think I have an album called Gord's Gold. That's just his like best of.
Mm-hmm. There's the album Gordon, which is a Bare Naked Ladies album.
I was about to say possibly the first album I ever owned myself. Like I think I received it as a gift.
I have it on
This is
CD too. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
great. And I love it. Like there's a lot of good stuff on that album.
Yes.
I legitimately think so. Um, Ranger Gord from the Red Green Show. He played
Yeah.
by I can't remember the actor's name, but he was like up in the Firewatch Tower, and he was always desperately lonely. A big fan of the Red Green Show in general, and Ranger Gord.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a whole
Gordie
bunch of
Howe,
good Gord.
Frankenstein,
Gordie
which is
Howe,
this is probably the most famous Canadian Gord, I guess.
probably, and also the one I know the least about.
Me too.
Definitely Canadian hockey player though.
All-Star NBA player Michael Gordon. No idea. Well, no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, Jen, how's it going? I was just watching
Was-
one of your old VODs in the background. Missed your live. Yo, welcome. Yeah, we've been live for I don't know, like
Yeah.
an hour. I think?
Oh, you don't want to get that person confused with the actor Michael B. Gordon, who is in Creed and like Black Panther and stuff. Hmm.
The same one also says soccer's the current APAC champion. Yes, in 2019, so probably still reigning Canadian national champion. That sounds about right. Yes, he's a very good Netrunner player, and he talks through what he's doing. You probably heard his voice too if you're watching Nisei Worlds. He did some commentary, I think, on this Friday. Yo, Aaron, how's it going? Happy New Year. It's been a while. How are you doing? Indeed. Okay, so what we want to explore today is a bit of the lockdowns. Jokes aside, we are currently in lockdown again here where we live. We actually have a what's it called? Couvre-feu. We have a curfew.
Which is of course the French name for cauliflower.
Cauliflower, yeah. So we actually, as of 10 o'clock, we have to be inside our houses because our numbers on things are not very good right now. Not that that's the reason why we got here, but NAPD Cordon is like abstractly a really strong card that doesn't see a lot of play. Couvre-feu. Happy New Year, Aaron. That means cover your fire, which is originally where the word curfew came from, where you had to cover your candles. Or I'm pretty sure. There's a physicist Gordon Freeman of Black Mesa. That is a famous Gord. Playing JNet tonight.
Oh yeah,
we will.
And I probably Canadian. I don't think they ever locked down where he's from.
Oh yeah, so. He's Canadian. He immigrated to New Mexico, I think, is where that game takes place. Yeah. City 17 is in New Mexico. I'm pretty sure Black Mesa is in New Mexico. Anyway, this card is inherently kind of powerful, right? The idea is that any agenda has to cost you 4 credits to steal. That is a reference to another card that started with NAPD, which is NAPD Contract. And this card used to be so ubiquitous that they actually gave it universal influence. They basically put it on their version of the standard ban list back in the day. It was a 4/2 that cost you 4 credits to steal. And 4 credits was a lot of money back then, right? The idea that you have to get through a server and still have 4 credits. You don't need a defensive upgrade. You don't need a on top of like, whatever you have today, like a Managarm Skunkworks. It just was good. Run R&D, pay 4 credits. It's a mini Bologna. It's fantastic. But the idea is,
and we didn't have enough other like defensive agendas. There was fetal AI, but that wasn't terrible. Like
yeah, it's fine.
That's only 2 credits, and maybe you die. That's
maybe you die. Yeah. Jessica, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Andre knows his expressions. I malaprop or whatever it's called a heck of a lot. It's a lot of fun.
A lot of people are yelling curfew at you. I guess they think you mispronounced the French. Must be you.
Yeah, it must be me. Huh?
Probably wasn't me. Making a joke, everybody. Sorry, should I not?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Aaron says 4/2, but it got more advancement requirements for bad pub. Actually, this text on NAPD Contract was really interesting because this text here was actually very conditional. Because this advancement requirement of NAPD Contract is increased by 1 for each bad publicity the corp has. That only mattered if either player remembered about it. Which, like,
yes,
80% of the time didn't happen.
It is like a quantum card text. It only ever applies when you least want it to apply. As I remember in one regional where I was playing against Jerome, and yeah, I thought I had that game in the bag. I had like ruined him with a the card that the Nisei Ice that does damage based on your remaining MU early in the game, and he was like set back so hard. Yeah, and then I tried to score out NAPD Contract for the win. He pointed out, like, sorry,
no, you can't
got a bad blood earlier from something.
Sorry, man. Yeah, Valencia plays remember. Yeah, Singard says, I can't believe how often this is forgotten. This is forgotten by every player, just because this card was like so ubiquitously put in decks for like a long time until Valencia Estevez became the biggest, most popular deck, largely because Blackmail came out, which is an absurd card. So people were like playing with this for a long time, and then suddenly text on it became relevant. So it was kind of like really quite difficult for that to be understood. But people forgot about this all the time. It's really funny. So this card lets you make anything into an APD contract. If you advance it to, it's 6 credits to steal. And these cards actually didn't look amazing for a while, maybe a year ago, because everybody was playing Imp. Like Imp Anarch decks, like those sort of virus Anarch decks were super, super, super common. So that's kind of the issue. If you find an agenda with an additional cost to steal, you can choose not to steal it and you can just trash it with Imp and then pick it up from archives later or whenever it made sense. And now I want to play with NAPD Cordon in the deck, and maybe we want to, leverage our credit differential. And I think another really good card that we're only seeing now more and more of in decks outside of the ones that you expect it to be in is things like Seamless Launch.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Seamless Launch
is going to work so well with this because, ideally, you're not doing 5/3s. If you're using lockdowns, you're doing 4/2s and 3/2s.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not spending your whole turn advancing because you are locking down, Seamless Launch can help you get to that score.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So you can install, exactly. You can install a 4/2 and then play the lockdown, and the next turn Seamless score, or score that out. We did see the contracts, or sorry, the lockdowns played a bit more with the La Costa grid, which I think is always also obviously a possibility. We're seeing way less of this card generally. I don't know exactly why that is, whether some of the other like defensive upgrades or upgrades in general just seemed a bit better, but La Costa was really hot like a year ago. But the idea that, again, with La Costa, you install advance, you play your Gordon, and then you're good to go. So I think we want to play with this. I think we also maybe want to try double lockdowns, and it's worth knowing you can only have one lockdown active at a time, but you could also consider playing some of the other lockdowns, like what's the name of the Jinteki one?
A Hyobu precog manifold.
Yeah. There, I've got it. Should we get more defensive agendas moving forward? How would that affect balance for aggro runners? It's tricky. Defensive agendas, like, classically were some of the most played agendas ever in Netrunner, to the point that it was an issue. So things like the Future Perfect, it's a 5/3 agenda that forced a side game. That was obviously very powerful. Bologna is incredibly strong. This 4/2 that was neutral is pretty strong. So I think there needs to be a mix. I think agendas that are like, like, it feels better for the corp when you lose an agenda, but it does something good on its way out. Like, that kind of feels good, but Vashron, yeah. Let's not talk about that, I guess.
Like there should be, like, we haven't seen many 5/3 agendas in the history of Netrunner whose effects are powerful enough that they merit putting in the deck when it's so scary to lose 3 points in one go, right? Like we see like Re-Education comes up, but only as like a combo with other cards. It's not good enough on its own, of course.
And they got a lot worse because now we have Mad Dash, right? Like, you can lose in 2 axes, which is, a bad luck. First the Kink Tech, yes. Vashron is still banned, Jessica, yeah. So far, any of the like balance changes that like were put into place going into Worlds are still into place, which I think most people are pretty happy about, barring some PE players somewhere, I guess. So Hyobu, basically you get to choose a server, and that server becomes basically a Caprice Nisei. You have to play a side game every time you're about to make a successful run on that server, and that's really good fun. It makes your server pretty hard to deal with. So I think we can put all this together, maybe play some Seamless Launches, have some good 4/2 agendas. We have good 5/3 agendas still in Jinteki, and maybe see how quickly we can just like smash out. And maybe can we leverage a credit differential? Maybe. We'll see.
I do like that NAPD Gordon, the Hyobu one, it locks down one server. NAP Gordon is going to protect every server, like most of the other lockdowns do. But it's good to remember, it doesn't just protect that one scoring server. It's going to make everything a little bit more difficult to steal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, even on Essentials. Did elective upgrades win Worlds? I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. Did this win Worlds in a CI deck? Yes, maybe. This, though, won Worlds not because it's a defensive upgrade agenda, just because it was, a 5/3 you could put into a deck that helps you combo out.
that has 2 biotic labors built in.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair for a 5/3 that's not defensive. Like, I think that kind of powers what you want in a 5/3. If you score this, you're already halfway to winning the game anyway. It might as well have a powerful ability, I think.
Yo, is this just me? But like every time, as soon as I saw this card, this person here, to me, looks so much like Code Marvelous.
Huh.
Is that just me? Anyways.
I mean, I'm not seeing enough of this person's face, but I guess I could see how...
Yeah, right? I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
I'd rather corps get fun agendas rather than defensive ones. I hear you to that. Yeah, to some extent. You see it too? Good. It does look like Code Marvelous. Okay, cool. Okay, every single time. Fantastic. Okay.
Okay.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Now, did voting machine interface ever win
No,
Worlds? Let's look up that
no,
card.
no,
I
no,
can,
no, no.
that's a 5/3 that I definitely played.
You played this. This card shows up
Uh,
whenever we're having fun to do like click robbing decks, but on its own, it's
hmm,
like, because that's like the weird thing. Like, there's just agendas are really strange in the game, and Nisei. That's a stupid sentence. Nisei has talked about where they want agendas going forward. From my understanding, they don't want to print a lot more 5/3s. We're going to see
hmm,
more, even 2/1s. I think we're seeing a fair bit of 2/1s in Borealis. I think we're going to see more 4/2s, 3/2s. But like,
hmm,
there's always this like weird thing with the game with agendas. Like almost all the 3/1 agendas in the game see very little to no play unless they're inherently like busted strong. Just because spending your whole turn 3 advancements for a single point is just not good. It's just not
hmm.
very efficient considering you have 3/2s. And then the 4/2s are seeing a lot of play. We have good 4/2s. And then a lot of the 5/3s were just not good enough for how much of a risk taking on 3 points in your deck were. And like VMI could have been printed on a, honestly, I don't know if a 3/1 would have solved it, but like this sort of ability you could put on a 3/0. That's a weird idea. That's probably a terrible idea. Don't do 3/0, I guess.
I think 3/0 could be like, I see where you're going with this. Maybe if it was less flexible, like the current uh, way is that you could choose when this affects the runner, which could be very important.
Yeah.
If it was on a if it was on a weaker, easier to score agenda, maybe if it just said the next 3 turns, so that you have less control over exactly when this is really going to hurt the runner. That would be maybe a way to make that a little bit more reasonable.
Like, I'm talking about more 0 point agendas. And I think it's like an interesting thing abstractly. Like, okay,
Mm,
say you had a 2/0 and this didn't have a way to get points, right? Like, obviously that makes forfeit really strong and makes some other things like anything that interacts with agenda scores or steals a lot more strong. But like, it's kind of cool. The idea that you spend your whole turn to score this like asset with an ongoing or like triggered ability is that's kind of neat.
Yeah,
Three,
yeah, exactly. Like it's a card that basically is now a permanent ability in your repertoire. It's a
yeah.
current that's never going to go away. It's just you now have this new rules text that applies to you. I mean, we've had 2 0 pointers that do not give any points, right? Like there's the Jinteki one and standoff.
Standoff. We also
Mhm.
had domestic sleepers.
Yeah, but that one you can get a point.
Yeah, that was actually real points.
Mm.
Domestic sleepers did see play. This is a cool card.
I do like I like domestic sleepers thematically as well. I think that's really cool.
Yes,
That
it's
it's
such a
just
cool
like,
theme.
yeah, like these are people that you activate all of a sudden.
Yeah,
It's
get to work.
great idea.
Yeah, it was just like always really. I think there was a really bad game feel, if that's a term. And when you were on the other side of the table and they were on 6 points, you're like, well,
Hmm.
shit. But it's no different than the Vacheron, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, can I?
I love the art, and yeah, I just love the art and theme. I hope Nisei like embraces a little bit of darkness every now and with their art and theme.
Yeah, yeah. I think we.
Certainly they do with their lore. Like the short stories can get very dark.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
feel like some of the cards don't necessarily reflect that.
Yeah. I just want to take a second here. This is a PSA of sorts because I need to make an apology. Uh,
Patrick Sklar apology. Go ahead.
yeah, not to you.
Oh, okay.
No.
Because you do owe me, but sure, go ahead.
uh, I went on stream late last year, and we talked about a video game called Inscription,
Hmm.
and I said things like, "I think this game is dog shit," or I no, hold on, I think I said the card game was in fact that, and I'd like to
You did,
recant,
yeah.
I'd like to recant that take, and I need to explain how I
Oh,
got to this. I'd like to recant that. So
okay.
Inscription, for those who don't know, it's really difficult for people to talk about this game because it's like so interesting. There's so many twists and turns, and so when people are talking about their game of the year candidate, they were like, "I can't talk about this game. Go play it," right? Like, which
Mhm.
obviously sucks. So I'm gonna talk very minimal spoilers. When I played Inscription, I honestly had a really bad time. I really had a bad time because I was stuck doing this thing over and over again at, I'm just gonna say, the beginning of the game. And I think the beginning of the game is the worst part of that game by a mile. And I was doing that for a really long time and I got fed up with it. It wasn't fun.
Mhm.
I wasn't making interesting decisions. Not great. Got tired of it. Didn't think I was gonna finish. At this point, I'm a lot further. Things have got really interesting. And the way that they keep twisting things and just like changing, some base mechanics, but still being irrelevant is pretty cool. Gonna finish it this
Mm.
weekend. Honestly, changed my mind. It's pretty cool. It's quite good. The beginning was my favorite part. The beginning. Okay, we're gonna talk about basic Inscription here. Inscription is a card game when it starts, and when it starts, you basically put cards in lanes, and your cards are little cute animals, generally cute, I guess. They're animals, right? And they have a cost to play them, and the cost is in blood. And you have to sacrifice your other animals to generate blood. Sorry, this is morbid. To play your other things. Inscription is a horror game, or at least an unsettling game, right? Cute. Yo, Kat, how's it going? Love your deep dive art. I haven't seen the full version, but apparently it's out there.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that like the full art of that.
Never heard of it. Can we get more of an inscription? Inscription, Dave. I don't know. That sounds like a joke. You're probably joking here. Anyways, the point being is that at the beginning of your turn, you have to make a decision. Do you want to pull from this one deck, and this deck basically just has like the equivalent to land cards from Magic the Gathering, or do you want to pull from your deck that actually has cards that will, like, you know, win you the game actively? But you need the land cards to play the cards that will win you the game. And there's just so many turns in that game where it's just like, oh, I draw a squirrel, which is the mana. I pass. I draw a squirrel. I pass. Or like I draw from my deck. Oh, I can't afford it. I pass. Like there's just so many turns where the decisions you make weren't a decision. And this is me also getting upset at Magic, because I feel like a lot of times that happens. It's like on turn 1, I have one play. I'm going to do that one play. On turn 2, I have one play. I'm going to do that one play. Like that was the part of this game that made me really upset. And I was just really not excited. But now it has become very, very quite fun. So
You're saying because it's changed, the game has changed enough that it has become fun for you?
That you're actually like making like really cool decisions, and like the play space is just way more nuanced than it was. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because I like I was telling you before the stream, like I have beaten something. I don't even know how I can talk. Anyway, like I have made progress, and I've gotten to a point where I'm just like I'm stuck, and I'm playing the same thing over and over and over again, and I'm just not making progress because I'm just not. I don't know. Maybe poor luck. Maybe I'm tilting
That's the thing,
in a
is like
single player game.
the most fun I'm having now is I'm playing with Maddie, and like Maddie just blasted through the part that I was like grinding at. And
Oh no way!
Yeah, it just blasted through, and I'm like, whoa! If I played the game at this pace, I would have been right on board. Cass says I don't see a problem with sacrificing cute. They are cute. That's my cute headbed. Jessica, good night. Thanks for joining. If you want to help, I'm happy to give some gentle advice. I'm not sure exactly about what you, Sengren. Also, Maximum Sushi just says I love, and I'm into that. Off stream, obviously. Soulmate, did you unlock Bones? I unlocked Bones, and I don't think Bones solves anything. I think it makes things more interesting, but like you still end into those non-decision turns. It's just like, oh, on this turn, there's one thing I can do or no things I can do, and that just wasn't fun for me. But it does make it more interesting to make it through stuck parts. Yeah, no, we're flying right now. We're doing really good. Anyway, back on track. Let's put some Gordons into a deck. I always worry because I'm wearing these, man. I'm yelling really loudly, probably in the apartment.
You're gonna have your neighbors knocking on your walls again.
I know, it hasn't happened in a long time. Sad says, but an infinite bones combo, yeah, there's some cool infinite combos and like things you can break it, but like, oh my god, not into it. Have you all heard of the Slay Spire board game that's in development? I think so, but I don't think I've seen any of it. I don't think there's anything to see yet.
Yeah, I definitely heard of it. It wasn't. It was announced, but there's nothing. We've not seen anything else, right?
Yeah. Oh, on that note, there's basically a reimagination of the what's it called, Hostage Negotiator series called Final Girl.
Final Girl, yeah.
Yeah, and so I bought the Final Girl base set.
Oh.
And cannot play it because you need to buy like the actual like horror chapters.
Right, because it has like here's the base stuff, and then you pick the chapter you want to add on top of that.
Yeah, and they're sold out everywhere, so I can't play it. And on top of that, when you read the back, it says like, or on the blurb on like whatever website I bought it on, is like, this is everything you need to start the game. That's a sentence I read, but the same thing that, like with Nisei.net, like the first sentence was like, get a chapter pack, and that is everything you need. But I just read everything you need and hit purchase. Anyways, I'm not happy with myself. I was really excited, and I was like, I guess we wait a year until this is back in stock.
Has there been a good board game version of a video game? Not that I've played, but I can't think of many I've played.
That's a good question.
Like the Stardew Valley board game does not look good to me.
Doesn't look great.
I'm sure some people have enjoyed it.
Some people like the Bloodborne games, but I've heard they're very grindy. The Dark Souls one is pretty poorly reviewed.
Deep Rock Galactic is a game that I really like, that they're coming out with a board game that I'm looking forward to, but who's to say if that's going to be good or not?
The what's that one that like Sony one where you fight dinosaurs with a bow and arrow? Horizon?
Turok? Oh, Horizon.
That board game reviewed very poorly. This War of Mine, yeah, that actually might be a good candidate.
Yeah. That's Civilization and Age of Empires, if we're talking about stuff like those both have had relatively well-reviewed, board games
Oh,
this year.
Frostpunk is getting a board game this year.
Mhm,
Final Girls is on TTS. Yeah, it probably is, but I want to play it in person with my partner.
mhm.
Armello was going to be a board game first, but apparently they got the idea to just work better as a computer game. I played a bit of Armello. I haven't played enough of it.
I mean, the XCOM had a board game that they did some, like, really interesting stuff with. It was
Oh
kinda like
yeah, the iPad one.
a real-time app-enabled board game, an early app-enabled board game too, and like that. So it's cool that, like, they did that with a video game IP. I just didn't appeal to me.
Yeah. Um, man, there's more of these. Like Fallout was a FFG board game. I don't think that
Mhm.
like performed very well.
They made a FFG made a Doom board game using
What?
the same kind of, format as, like, Imperial Assault and Descent. So it was like a one versus
What?
many, I think, and, like,
When?
that seemed kinda cool. Like, I don't know when FFG was doing that. Let's see.
That's wild. Oh, Assassin's Creed has a board game. They're making a Rainbow Six board game, and the Rainbow Six board game looks good. Assassin's Creed is like a re-implementation of the V Commando series, which is another like
Hmm.
Montreal thing. I think that's meant to be pretty good. It's just like a huge, like Kickstarter miniatures on miniatures thing. Rick, XCOM gets average reviews. Catherine, how's it going? I haven't played the Stardew board game, but the problem I see with it, it doesn't match the pace of the tone of the video game. From my understanding, the Stardew Valley board game is like a like you can mess up and lose, which is like totally antithetical to like
Yeah,
being on a clock. Like
exactly. Like,
it's ugh, wow.
yeah, it and it's also very, very random. Like, you don't like, it's hard to predict how things will turn out. Like, that's not really how Stardew Valley works. You know ahead of time how most things will work in the rest for the most of the year. You
Yeah,
know what, like, community projects you have to work towards.
it's a really surprising change of tone
Yeah,
for something
it's
that
so
like
weird.
had exactly the opposite change of tone. It's really strange.
Mhm.
All right, are we playing Jadeki? Are we going to jam out like some tempo positive
Like,
four
you
twos?
want to do Hyobu? I mean,
No.
Hyobu, no, not Hyobu the ID,
Oh
obviously,
yes,
but
yes, yes, yes. Because I
Hyobu
imagine
as
Hyobu is more influence. Yeah, it's three influence. Seamless is like what, three influence
mm,
actually? Is Seamless three?
Seamless is 2.
Okay, so I assume we could go HB or Jadeki. Now we want to go like tempo positive, so like maybe we do PD, maybe we do sports metal. The problem is if we do PD honestly could be pretty brutal, right? Because you can recur your lockdowns.
Yeah, well, that's what I said, but, like, if you're also playing Seamless Launch, you're gonna be recurring the Seamless Launches. But yeah, no, I do think PD is probably the best one to do with lockdowns
Yeah,
overall.
maybe. Unless
Yeah, which is
that
too bad because then we just end up having a deck that looks like a lot of other current HB
yeah, I know. We're
decks.
gonna play all the neutral like agenda suite.
Yeah.
Asa's kind of nice because it lets you like, double install, so you can put something into
Mm,
the remote server and ice up and still have extra clicks for lockdowns. That's kind of cute as
yep.
well. We could try that and then like see if we I do think the idea that like playing a lockdown over and over again with PD does sound kind of nice.
Hmm.
Let's
Yeah,
try.
I mean, I'd be in for that
Let's
for
start
sure.
here.
Okay.
Man, there must be more. There must be a really good video game board game. I don't think I own any. That's
Yeah, I
such a cool
don't.
question.
I'm looking around. I don't think I own any. Huh? Is Seize the Bean based on a video game?
Yo, I am actually have been bit by a bug. I've been playing solo board games, which is not a thing
Hmm.
that's happened. I got Undaunted Reinforcements, which
Oh yeah,
is like
I mean,
expansion for Undaunted Normandy and Undaunted the what's the North Africa one, I think it's called.
mhm.
There is a lot of production problems with that game.
Hmm.
Like it is unfortunate. Like a huge list of erratas. The card backs just
Ooh, that
don't
sucks.
match in color.
Oh, that sucks.
They agreed. They basically said we will replace all of these.
Hmm.
So if you just email them, they'll replace your cards for you. But like it is a bummer. But
Mhm.
it's been really fun. I've actually been like excited to play board games on my own. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh, Superhot had a board game,
Yes,
oddly enough, and I heard that one was decent.
Super Hot had a board game. It's like a reimagining of this other like kind of like
Hmm.
line stealth game I played.
Hmm.
They turned a Space Marine game into a board game. Oh, there's so many like Warhammer esque Space Marine stuff.
Yeah.
I'm heading to bed, but
Huh.
I also want to get a shout out for Ed and Sanjay, who are starting a stream where they go through all the packs and standard as a way to demystify Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern. Oh, I had no idea. That's dope. Cheers, Synchron. Thanks for dropping by. Gabriel says an Anno 1800 is pretty good. I heard that that's the one that came out like just last year, and there's the person who designed the Anno 1800 is actually like a pretty well known game designer. I haven't played it yet, but I heard it was good.
I know when I was at Paradox Con, they actually showed me a bunch of board games they worked on based on Paradox
Oh,
IPs.
that's super
So
cool.
I played like a Cities Skylines board game.
Oh,
That
cool.
was it was just so, but like, oh, it's cool that you're working on this. Like they have a board game, they have board game designers working with them to make board games of most of their stuff.
Real quick, Ixaron said, would you recommend the next two Undaunted? Yes. It was sort of. Okay, so I would not get Undaunted reinforcements unless you want to play solo or play 4-player. There's just not enough content in that unless you're doing any of those. And now North Africa is actually really interesting because it makes things a lot more asymmetrical. So it's no longer that like you have, riflemen, they have riflemen. It's more like, okay, I have tanks and you have this one guy who can crawl on the floor and put mines down. Which means that if you were playing with somebody and they don't like very clearly understand their unique set of abilities, it's going to be a blowout. Like it's really on the player to understand their goals as opposed to, or their unique like strengths. Because if they don't swing into their strengths, it is a non-game. As opposed to Normandy, where like you kind of just see what your opponent's doing and understand like, oh, the machine gunner is good at suppression. I'm going to do a suppression. Like you can get away with that. But like North Africa, if you're not very clever at understanding how to uniquely do a thing, you're going to have a bad time. So it's very interesting. I played a lot less than Normandy so far, but I think it's not an entry point. I don't think it's a good entry point unless you're really into asymmetry. I never thought I'd find someone streaming this category. Dude on the grass, Netrunner? How's it going?
What? Hey. I guess maybe it's time for us to build a deck instead of me asking you how your solo board game is going and also mention that Portal has a board game. Let's talk about Netrunner for all these new people who came here
Hold
to
on.
watch us play Netrunner.
Diogene, if you want to have a really interesting cooperative game, you should try Magic Maze. Magic Maze looks dope. I've never played it, but I know exactly what it is and how it plays. It looks really fun.
Donkey Kong Country Pog pitching game. How did I not have this?
I'll take 2, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we have our NAPD cordons. The question is, how do we like leverage the fact that our agendas are more expensive to steal, right? Like to some extent, we would want to do maybe, punitive Counter-Strike. That seems a bit weird. I think we could easily play like hard-hitting news, but I feel like that's going to grab the attention of what our deck is, hard-hitting news, as opposed to like, oh, the cordons are cool, right? So like, I think we need Managarm, right? Like we need the proverbial
sure. I mean,
red herrings or whatever.
Yeah, like the thing that the lockdowns are doing is just making us able to score much sooner than the runner expects, right?
Yeah,
Like we're gonna be putting it behind like one piece of ice, and even if they try to like do some trick to bypass it, then like it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, yeah, but I still think we'd like play Managarm, right?
Oh yeah, we would still play Managarm.
Well, could also do Giordano Memorial Field. It's kind of tricky. Like we're not gonna play an agenda suite where like if they steal 3 agendas, a lot of times they'll win the game. If they mad dash us, a lot of times it'll be 4. So I think Managarm will just perform better than this most of the time.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm probably gonna run back the campaign and Normandy on the upside. I would recommend doing it. Those they're very different on each side. Okay, sorry. Let's get rid of the agendas. We'll play Managarm. I feel like we're just gonna build a good PD list.
Yeah, like that's kind of the thing I was thinking might end up happening. Like,
no.
How different is and is that bad? Maybe we shouldn't worry about it.
Well, then we could do things like, what is the one that says if they access this with less than 5 credits or whatever? Is that a real card, or did I make that up?
Like a red herring situation.
Like a grid. Like a Manta grid. Oh, this is the click one. I feel like there's a Manta grid for credits, but it's Jinteki like and it's bad.
Like, is that Ruhr Valley?
No, that's the click less. You have 1 less click. We'll find it.
Let me see.
It's a real card. Why play Gordon when the next lockdown is available? Because I think Gordon is just more interesting. How's it going, Wayne? Anybody need to put advance on the agenda to make it more expensive? In my experience, runners are so rich now that's hard to make use of NAPD. I'm hoping that we go fast enough, and I don't think we have to put the advancement. I think the advancement is probably worth it, obviously, and that's why we have seamless. But so we do install advance. I think we do 5/3s. Ruhr Valley is just not in non-standard.
I think of Nihongai grid.
Yes.
If the runner has fewer than 6 credits, yeah, there you go.
Fewer than 2 cards in their grip. When there's a successful run on the server, you may look at the top 5 cards on ID and swap one of those cards to card in HQ. That's not a good ability.
That's not. Yeah, that's a region. You can't just
put that in there.
No, because region every time you play a region, you're taking an opportunity cost of not playing a different region.
I,
That is not good enough to be a region.
I feel like this is the art they're using in the new Magic the Gathering set.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I think we need to do install advance with Gordon and play punitive.
Hmm.
You with me?
Okay. Yeah, that does make sense. Like, make it expensive and then make them unable to counter punitive. So then, are we going to be doing 5/3s?
Yes, I think we do 5/3s
Okay.
then.
All right.
That means we have a unique deck, right? Like we've done something here.
That's true. We've done
Yeah.
something interesting.
Gonna run NBN Ice to tax the runner creds. I think just
Mhm.
about every ice taxes creds. I don't think the NBN Ice specifically taxes creds more efficiently or better than anything else. Tranquility Home Grid is just good. Like we just want to get a credit lead, and this helps you get credit lead if they trash you for 4 credit lead. If fires credit lead. Okay. I don't know, 3. I guess we need it. So what 5/3s are we playing? We can't play Vacheron.
Oh.
Yeah. No.
No. Oh,
No.
okay. Fine. Fine.
So like food's an option. Are there any other 5/3s? Ikawa? Yeah, Ikawa's great. Cost 2.
Ikwaz will be great.
Oh god,
Because
Ikawa's they're gonna have to spend 4, 5, 6, 8 to steal Ikawa.
that's going to be rough.
I'm
And then
in.
they're going to get hit with a punitive.
Yeah, I'm in.
Um,
Gold farmer would like a word. I'm not a gold farmer fan. This is not a gold farmer channel. I do not understand the gold
what about
farmer.
neutral?
I think
I
it's like
guess
the free res one.
it's just send a message.
We could also vulnerability.
No, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we're already seamless launching, we might as well vulnerability.
Yeah, I think so.
This is one influence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now we're over the agenda limit because we put luminal in.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, I'm not unhappy with that with those 6 5/3s.
The issue here is like we don't have a win con. Like I think we
Mhm.
cut a vulnerability and we just put in oh no, that doesn't work. Damn.
Mhm.
Yeah, because when you play 18 or 19, the issue here is that like we have no way to win. How can we
Mhm.
get another point in HB? Is there a way to get another point?
There must have been something in the Katara cycle, right? Like everyone got something like that.
I'm not sure, man. I feel like it was like domestic sleepers or bust.
Mhm.
Does HB have a fake point? It doesn't look like it. Sanjay just tuning in now and caught up a bit, relieved to say you don't feel obligated to play a deck. I only published a hype of an Edge of World themed pizza. Wait, was that from the cook off? Like the Christmas cook off? How's it going, Sanjay? That's amazing.
You know what's funny is now we're playing PD and we're not going to be scoring that many agendas.
No, that's fine. Actually,
Okay.
you're right. That's not fine. We might as well just play 20 agenda points, right?
Yeah, but play Asa, toss a luminal in there or something.
Or is there one pointers we care about?
Do we want to even put one pointers in when part of our strategy is punitive?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. But the idea with one pointers is that like you can, because if we lose the luminal, like we still have to score a billion agendas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm seeing like I don't know. Do we just put echo chamber in to fill in?
It's like 5 influence, 4 influence. Not
It's 4
excited.
influence.
Not
Yeah.
excited.
Maybe false flag.
Less
That
excited.
one
Much less
is,
excited.
but only 2 influence. Only 2 influence.
Only 3 years to score this agenda.
Yeah.
And
And it's worth 3 points when you get it.
oh, actually, and we score 9 points again. We had the same issue.
Gene Splicer is also 2 points.
Actually, Slice is okay.
Gene Splicer would be cute.
Yeah. I feel like we could just play 2 hyperloops.
Okay, if you say so. If you say so.
Right? 2 hyperloops is
Yeah.
fine.
Now, do any on access agendas still exist?
On
Or did
axis?
they all rotate with harpsichord? Because if the idea is NAP Gordon stops them from stealing, but they still access, is there anything that we can do about that?
I'm sorry, you lost me for a second.
Like cards like Explodapalooza, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That triggered on access, not on steal.
Sure.
So if you're playing a card that prevents the steal, you still get the benefit and keep the agenda.
Got you.
I'm just wondering if there's anything like that still
In
available.
HB and neutral, I don't think so. Besides on steel. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Mhm. Okay.
Besides sports metal, but that's still on steel. Lost a false flag. On by construction company last night. I like it.
Cool.
Theme was cards you want banned, unbanned, or rotated for the ShadowNet cook-off. Oh, that's amazing. So like here we could actually consider playing sports metal. Obviously we don't have a lot of agendas, but like sports metal is just fine for punitive. Otherwise we have potentially mirror morph, but
I like Asa.
whoa, is mirror morph
I
perfect? No, it's not perfect.
I think Asa would be fine with this. Like, get a little bit more efficiency so that we can better use the lockdowns.
Okay. Better use the lockdown. I guess so, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Architects makes the ice less porous with lockdowns. The problem with Architects is like Architects is really, really slow, and I don't even think we're committing to playing the HB lockdown.
Mm-hmm. Also, less influence, and we're already spending influence where people wouldn't want us to.
Oh, Architects has less influence? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Wow. Check that out. Okay. Okay, so we need to play we need to get money up. Our money has to be good for obvious reasons because we're trying to punitive people. I think we can play maybe a single archive memories, maybe. Get a Gordon back now to get a punitive back, a seamless launch. So maybe we can play one of those. We do like putting things into, so we could consider more upgrades. We obviously need to worry about ice. Things in remotes are really important for the Sheeta, for ASA groups. So we have Rashida. I think we will still play in Geofront. Nothing new here.
I think Enfi's fine there.
I think we Spin Doctor. Obviously
yeah.
very playable. We're making a Netrunner deck. You know how this goes. But Sprint is also not the worst when you're in punitive list with 5/3s.
Sure, maybe one sprint.
Below accordance gross? See, it totally is. We just can't play it in HB.
Also, Maryland, of course.
I don't know about Maryland, man, because it takes a remote for too long.
Does Nico spends less time in remote, right?
Yes, it spends much less time in remote. But also, like, we should be playing MCA informant, which is just awkward because if we MCA informant, we're obviously not coordinating.
Yeah, right. So it's a non-bow. I think not with what we want to do.
But like, is MCA just good enough to play?
I don't know. Let's talk about ice.
Okay.
We've got nothing for ice right now.
Okay, 2 on cells. It's good. We just need to make sure our money can like sustain having this and then still having money. No. We're not brainstorming. Eli seems fine.
Yeah, and Drafter does bring a card back from archives, right?
Oh yeah, Drafter's great.
Drafter's fine.
Okay. I don't think I'm excited to play Fairchild 2. Gatekeeper is obviously very good. Hagen's very good. We still have a bit of influence to work with. I don't understand why vulnerability and not food. Vulnerability is kind of cute because we have seamless launch. So we can always like second click or even last click install it. It's just nice. It's also a card we haven't really played. I've never played Vulnerability Audit. I played food to death. He says, building an HB ice suite. Stuff like this, unfortunately, is just way too expensive.
For now. What about some of the neutrals, like white? If we're going fast, maybe something like white space.
Yeah, that's okay. Are we still in the magnet world?
I mean, Botulus is still pretty popular, right?
I don't think so. It's still pretty popular, but I don't think we're on 3 of magnet world.
No, not at all.
1 white space.
It's only 2. Like, I'm suggesting it because it's only two credits.
Yeah, white space.
We don't have an abundance of credits.
Okay.
So now we have, is 13 ice?
No.
13 ice plus lockdown's good enough? I don't think so.
Well, the lockdown's kind of like our pseudo ice, but this is okay. We put a Bron in, so we have a big barrier. Eli Hagen, but we have influence, right? Like, what's our good influence ice? It's like still IP block, unfortunately. I feel like there's probably a hot card that could be in this list that we're just not thinking of.
Maybe like a digital rights management to really like let them know that this is an agenda, and then just be able to have the punitive on tap. Or how much is consulting visit?
Yeah, I was just thinking. So we'd have to pay 3 influence for it, which is pretty hard. Wanza. Oh, we're gonna lose if we play Monza. Play the Asa card. Unfortunately, the Asa card just isn't gonna work well in this deck. Asa, I'm assuming, is not peak efficiency. I never remember the name. The operation. Fully operational.
Yeah. Monza works great with Gordon, doesn't it? Like, imagine they access 5 agendas and they can steal none of them. In a perfect world. I'm not saying do it, but don't you dare cut that down to 0. I know you're tempted to.
What, Gordon? No.
Okay. All right. Okay.
D says, have there been bans in the last 6 years? There've been lots of bans. The recent change to the standard ban list was just a couple months ago before Worlds. That's actually really exciting when it was in like October.
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't been following the game in 6 years, like there is a new group kind of in charge of it,
Hmm.
and we're playing with a lot of their new cards
Yeah.
called Nisei. So go Nisei.net, um, and their system gateway is an amazingly good like starter core set kind of deal. It's really good.
Wanza's the upgrade for the most fun. I think Wanza is no fun for anyone. I understand why people like Wanza, and I'd like it more if we had things like Snare, but it's just like there's no way to deal with this intelligently. All of my decks are illegal. Yeah, there's a lot of rotations in the last 6 years, and there's a lot of new cards coming out. So the standard format, you'll find out what that is on Nisei.net, but it's only the couple last years of products. So anything that like came out in 2012, most of that isn't illegal anymore, at least for standard like competitive play or organized play. But there's just more formats. There's a lot more formats. You get $10. I know you get $10, but you also like a mad dash and you lose.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you get $13 if one of those access cards in the Hyperloop.
Hey, can't believe
That's
we've Hyperloop in this deck. Okay, so we're over cards and we're under influence. I feel like economy is just the problem. Like, I don't understand how to put a lot of money into a deck anymore. Like, we don't have IPOs. We don't have. How do you just get more money in the deck?
so you're not doing fully operational,
No, because it
is that
doesn't
what
make sense. Because we're not building multiple servers.
but we're ASA.
Sure,
Okay,
but we
okay,
don't
fine,
like.
fine.
I hear you, but the thing that Asa would play, you know, things to put into multiple servers, like Jeeves's, whatever, or like, you know, not Rashid exactly, but like Maryland's and Nico's. We're just not doing that.
Okay, so maybe maybe the big Wayland one. I can't remember what it's called. The 10 cost Wayland operation.
Cost Wayland.
Is that gonna return
Government.
government subsidy?
Yeah.
Do we think we're gonna routinely get to 10 and then go from there?
No.
I don't know.
I
We've
don't
got
think
money.
so. Do we?
Okay, okay, then why not the NBN one? Why not Planogram?
Because it's 3 credits. And I don't like Hansei. I don't think we can throw out cards. We don't draw that heavily.
Mm-hmm.
If we had fully op, maybe. Okay. Are any of the big gross clearances still legal? One of them? Oh no, just red level. It's literally one of them. No.
It's barely money. Yeah.
Not big, not gross. Okay. We're on 51 cards. Let's just do a test draw. We could play 44.
Oh, that's a workable hand.
This is a
No
fine
agendas, but
hand. No, this is good, right? Like you do, I guess I'll do Eli HQ.
mm-hmm.
Then you do like Hagen remote with Tranquility. That's one install. We do that first, obviously. Click for credit.
Mm-hmm.
Then next turn we could, oh my god. To just jam Gordon and APD. Are you still playing Managarm and the Grid and NGO? Could be way more if you didn't. I think you need to play all that sort of stuff just so that we get value from ASA group. Because we don't want to be installing things in a remote server. So we do need upgrades and like things to put in the remote server that are not agendas. This is okay, right? Okay, Pat, this is not great, but we can cut 2 cards and call it a day. I feel like we can maybe spend 1 influence on some like flashy ice or something. By flashy, I mean IP block.
Sure. I don't want to cut money.
No.
But
F it.
Maybe we cut the government subsidies and do replace that with consulting visit.
Consulting visit is a massively expensive card.
It's 3 influence. If we cut down the government subsidies, we have the room for it.
Sure, but like playing consulting visit to play punitive, that's 2 clicks and 5 credits to start. Like we need a huge credit lead for that to be a viable option.
Yeah, that's fair.
Regolith mining, Regolith is not the worst idea, honestly. I kind of like Regolith. I do like Regolith. I feel like that's better than Subsidy.
Yeah.
Do we play 3? Install events is not a thing a deck does. Maybe we cut NGOs. It's obviously a bit better with Tranquility because we get on install, we get 2 credits, but we could probably cut those.
And
now we can
49.
do something cool with 3 influence.
Okay, what's a good ice at 3 influence?
Thoth.
This is an Archer deck if I ever saw one.
Yeah, okay.
So
Free Lunch, Wayland, what do we got? 3 influence. Veritas isn't shiny enough.
Hmm.
Border control's fine, but like we don't mind if they steal the agenda. We just want them to have a credit differential that's unfavorable. Hmm. DNA tracker? It's too much money. I was considering it. Like obviously,
Yeah,
if they lose 6 credits, it's sick. But like that's us paying 8 and then punitiving them is going to be a bit of a pipe dream. What works well with punitive? Like, do we just do like, what's his name? I'm not a big fan of him. The upgrade that does damage. What's his name? Ben Musashi? No. That makes our plan way too obvious.
Yeah, and that does work with the lockdown too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Saisentan?
Saisentan is 3 influence.
If we kill someone with Saisentan, I'm gonna be really upset at us.
Yes, Sanjay, I completely agree. Like we've seen so many FFG versions of that card, and then Nisei just comes out like, "Hey, this is going to be 13 credits overall."
3
That seems
credits
fine.
is good. Click for 3 is good. Click for 3 is always fine.
Yeah, like I used to play with the Wayland one, like Shark Tank.
Yeah, that was
Like
that only once a turn? Or you could do that as many times as you want.
as many times as you want. Yeah,
Magnum opus for the corp isn't good enough,
a daily quest.
especially in Asa. Yeah, I like Regolith a lot better than Daily Quest in a lot of decks modernly. Okay, hold on, we can figure this out. I just want to get this deck on the road to see like the huge issues we have with economy. Grendel were finally sweet. Man, if Grendel didn't take a click, then it'd be a bit busted. What are we doing here, man? We just get an ice in. We're so short on like fun ice.
Okay, so let's just toss Saisentan in there. It's a shock. It's a surprise.
And a shock something else.
Mm.
Can we stop them from drawing somehow? No. Is that still a thing we can do? What's the handshake card?
What's the handshake card?
Yeah, someone will know what this is.
Oh, you're talking about lockdown. Wait, is it called lockdown? Am I confused?
Oh no, I think you're right.
And it was in Sansan.
It was in Sansan.
Oh man, what a good deck this would have been.
Yeah, I know. The IG says Authenticator. We got more influence. I'm not a big fan of Authenticator. For 1 influence. So just take the tag. Genetics Pavilion's also gone? What a sad day. Okay, Pat, we'll do it. We'll just play
Saisentan. We don't have enough good stuff for Conjun to be in there.
No, we really don't.
No.
Oh man, this is painful.
Have you heard about the site called The Gamer? They've got a list of board games based on video games.
Really? Is it a good list?
I had forgotten that Plaid Hat made a BioShock Infinite board game.
Oh yes, I remember that one.
It's
like a big production.
Yeah, it was huge.
Was it a good game? Okay, we'll do something.
I heard some people liked it. I never played it.
What are we cutting for that, drafter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. NAPD's Gordon. Gonna screenshot this because there's no way it's gonna save. We've spent way too long building a stack. Okay, here we go. JNet format. Yeah, we have to do that, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna update this also so that we can see it on the deck tracker. Just give me 1 second. JNet now actually shows you how many people are playing when you're not logged in, which I feel like is really important. Yo, Cody, happy New Year. How's your New Year, man? Thanks for dropping by. Oh, Afshar's not bad either, actually. This is not a runner deck. No, it's 2 influence, but it's just like a good ice.
Yeah, relatively cheap, kind of taxing.
I feel like NBN was probably the right thing to do here, but at least this is like kind of unexplored territory. Is it Hasbird Precision Design or is it just Precision Design? It's Hasbird. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this in so that we'll get it on the deck builder, or sorry, on the Keyhole on Twitch, and then we should be off to the races. Sure is a deck I've tuned in for. Yeah. Performance not guaranteed, but our heart was in the right place for at least part of it. Corp. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the issue is like we need to get our credits up quickly, and we need to force them to like interact with the remote server quickly enough. Asa not
Oh yeah,
PD. Oh, it's not even PD.
not PD,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Huge.
Oops. Also important, Gordon Shemway. That was Alf's human name.
Alf was a Gordon?
Alf was a Gordon, yeah. Not Canadian.
It's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
20-point PD
20
like a
point.
boss?
Absolutely.
Okay, hold on. Did my thing froze? I can't type. Oh, no, it's working. Okay, we're good. I believe this is Dave from chat.
Good guess.
All right, we got Tao. Okay. So
All right, new year, new me. I'm trying to be less aggressive, less insulting, and I'm
we
gonna work on.
don't really have a good Asa this turn, so I think we can just go ahead and mulligan it. So if we top deck an ice, we could like maybe jam Hyperloop.
Mm-hmm.
He did eat cats like you Canadians do. Oh man. Give a shout out to the students in my high school. Whoa.
Shout out to the students in your high school. Oh, all right.
My math teacher, we started Netrunner Club for Kids. Get out.
Oh my god.
That's dope.
That's so cool.
Hope to turn into a team the next year. Oh, that's so cool. Shout out to my students. Okay, of course. That's awesome.
Absolutely. If I was ever in a position to influence the young minds of the next generation, I would absolutely just tell them to play Netrunner.
Hey, let's do it. What's up, Carlton Christian? Hey. So if
Carlton Christian.
When I was in not high school, when I was in elementary school, I played Yu-Gi-Oh. We had a teacher who played Yu-Gi-Oh with us, and it was like a really cool thing. Everyone played Yu-Gi-Oh. Do you think if someone showed you Netrunner at a younger age, you would? I feel like I'd still think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I'd be certainly intrigued by it. Like, I don't know. I saw Magic when I was like 10, and I was immediately taken with it. I don't think Netrunner. Well, and that's surprising because I was never into fantasy when I was younger. I was into sci-fi. So I'm sure Netrunner might have been even more appealing if I'd seen that first.
This is a very ugly start. Daijin says Dave speaks a bit of French. He started a channel on YouTube a year or so ago. Oh, no way. I had no idea. Imagine TBB making students play Netrunner. Yeah, probably. Okay, this is a good start. We stuck 2 Tranquilities on the table, so hopefully if there's ice in our deck, maybe we'll find some of it. Yeah, that's what ice looks like. Do we want to just jam out the Regolith and try and rush this thing out?
Yes. Yeah, but res one of those, jam Regolith, put the Hagen on top.
Probably just gain 2. So they've already gained their bad tap. So if we res this, yeah, I guess we still do. If they run it, they can lose their Rozeki, which would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't love only spending 2 clicks on this thing. Like ideally, you always like take 7 off of it the turn you res it. Because now we're like rushing them, right? And ideally, we actually just jam an agenda on top of a Tranquility. Oh, Beth is going to be an issue. Like their setup is so much better than our nonsense. But at least we have a.
Oh, wow! Your old allies coming to haunt you. What's Gravedigger gonna do?
I think this is the deck list that Diogene published. That's like an uninteractive combo encore, like what's it called? Infect or whatever it's called. The thing that puts tokens on this.
Yeah, contaminate or something.
Contaminate. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, what you're saying is this person should not be teaching children. Like this is irresponsible.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Our Asa trigger's been bad. I think we're gonna gain 2 and then we're gonna res it to draw 2. Yep, that is mine. Yeah, I think I saw this one. Okay, so luckily we can score out a bit fast once we get the agendas. Agendas in HQ will be a bit safer than anywhere else. We've been drawing a fair bit here. This turbo I don't care to protect. I think we can ice up HQ once maybe.
Or install we overinstall the Regolith with the audit, and then get the.
I feel like we want them to steal the audit.
Oh, we do have punitive in hand.
Because we have punitive. We're gonna need another one, obviously. But I think we just want to like make sure our money is good. We've already given them pad tap, so it's kind of in our interest to like take money off of this. The other option is like just to trash the audit. This deck also has black file, mind you. Dave's deck has black file.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so the seamless launches can sometimes like make that a bit tricky.
Well,
but we can score the vulnerability. You're right. I think we maybe consider doing that. I think you're right. We do that. This also triggers this Tranquility.
I mean, now is not the right time to have done that.
Why? We have a seamless.
Oh, you have a seamless. Yeah, of course. Never mind.
No, we
perfect time. What are you saying? Perfect time.
Oh, we trashed our own cards, so they got a Gravedigger. That's fun. At least we have a Spin Doctor on the table. So this card, anytime a card is trashed, a corp card, and it has to be installed, mind you, they get a counter. So they can just like inject this to get 3 virus counters on it as long as the card has no counters on it. Double Gravedigger. I used to play a lot of decks like this back in the day with like Hyperdriver, and it was really fun. So they can steal Iqua here.
I didn't know you had so many chickens. Because they've all come home to roost.
All right.
Run me to share a video. My friends Tim and Cynthia, they have a farm. They've got about 50 chickens, and Tim made costumes out of like a construction paper, so the chickens look like dinosaurs. Like he just slot it over a chicken. The chicken just like bobs its head around. Looks like a little velociraptor.
Are they pleased?
It's impossible to tell.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it is definitely like chickens are very like vocal with their emotions. They do not seem terribly put out by this.
I want to raise chickens at some point.
Hmm.
I like eggs, but I feel like eggs don't come from a good place. Matish, finally watch you live. It's hard in Poland. It's 4:30. Cheers. Hey, good morning. Okay, so good thing about not installing ice is they can't Tausalongas, but they did steal an agenda, which is an Iqua, so we would need double punitive, which I feel like we'd have to top deck here. So we could like install on top of Tranquility and draw and see if we get a punitive.
Interesting. I was gonna say, oh yeah, we could install the Spin Doctor,
but then we have to trash the Spin Doctor.
All right, so we'll just do that one.
But I want to keep this because they're a Gravedigger deck.
Okay.
Like I don't even think we can mathematically punitive them.
Just double hedge and then punitive for value.
We don't punitive. We punitive to win.
Okay.
What do you mean eggs don't come from a good place? Like morally, literally, I feel like probably ethically, it's pretty bad.
Oh, I thought you meant like the cloaca. That's a bad part. Like chickens have a good place is the beak, the bad place is the cloaca. That's the way I was raised. I'm not going to change my mind about that.
Exile, spin, play, spin. I feel like we don't really need punitive. I think our numbers was there, but I do want to keep it punitive just so the Gravediggers are less important. But when we trash this Rashida, they actually get 2 virus counters off Gravedigger. But like our best thing to do is like draw super aggressively with Rashida so we can jam another agenda and like force them to do something. Because they're just going for singles.
What's the name of that? Like there's this like voiceless documentary series. It's just like a bunch of interesting.
What? You cannot advance cards during. Okay.
That's
fine.
All right.
We're not advancing this turn.
Yeah, they must think that's a Vitruvius or something. That's interesting.
You can trash this. It's fine. We have 2 more Spin Doctors. The fact that they trash like Beth is a very good card.
Especially while we have 21 credits.
Yeah. Now this gives them obviously absurd amount of Tranquility counters. The question is whether we purge here. Oh, I forgot to res that. The question is whether we purge here. I don't think we want to purge with the main cards in hand. So I think we're just going to install this in server 1. We're going to install a drafter on probably R&D, honestly, the way that they've been running, because most of our agendas in R&D. And then get a Spin Doctor on server 2. I reckon. These Tranquilities have been pretty good. Whoa. My screen just went totally black.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. You are not allowed to...
What happened? Yeah, I'm refreshing. Leave page. Dave will come back. Standard illegal? What's happening? Did JNet crash?
It's saying start not join.
Okay, hold on. Did something bad happen on JNet? Oh yeah, lights out. Hold on. Things look broken. Did we lose the game? It looks like we did.
That's super weird.
Start? Yo, they blackfiled us hard.
That's what we get. I mean, that's the price of freedom when it comes down to it, you know?
What happened?
Wait, was the connection they trashed our internet connection?
And now we can't advance our internet connection. Leave the game first? Now we left the game.
Now we just left the game. Okay, can we still talk to Dave and let them know?
That's a good question. JNet. It doesn't even take our text anymore. Okay. Like I wrote hey in the chat box. How's it going, Aurora? That's not. Oh wait. We have a button.
Oh,
But this is not
you
running
can't
well.
wait.
Like you see it. It's struggling a bit. I'm gonna close some tabs, but I don't think that's gonna solve it. Okay. Oh. Okay. Still good. Judge.
Judge.
We had that one in the bag. I'm actually not sure. I'm getting a bit uneasy about how this one's going. I'll be honest.
Hmm.
So we'll put this on R&D, and then we'll just go ahead and put this in server 2. Happens a bunch. We'll just whenever
Oh
we
my
install a
God.
card on the grid.
Is it the Tranquility Grid that's doing this? Is it because we have two
Two
Tranquility Grids?
Tranquility Grid is an illegal combination of cards. It's angry because I res Rashida out of turn, and it's really upset at us.
It's like Kentucky's so tired of people resing Rashida when they shouldn't be resing Rashida. And this is it. It's fun to become self-aware.
And now I have to select a deck. Oh no. We've been so lucky we haven't ran into anything weird like this in a really long time.
Yeah, seriously, this is a rare occurrence.
Okay, I'm gonna do like
What?
a hard refresh.
All right, well, while you're doing that,
It's the price of freedom,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna vamp for a while.
Yeah, Pat.
Oh, is the person at the bottom of chat describing the same issue? They're having an issue, but I don't know.
Oh,
Anyways,
in the JNet chat. Yeah, I don't know. Where is it? Oh, here.
yeah, there is support. I don't know if it's like live right now. Like the developers on JNet are active in the community.
No idea what's happening. Every time I install something, the whole screen goes black. Never seen it before.
Yeah, I should just be reading up more
the price
board games. Let's see. Obviously, people like the Pokemon Master League board game. I've never played that.
Okay, I think we're good. You cannot advance cards. I'm not going to. I think we're good. Stop it. It keeps yelling that you cannot. It literally, the price of freedom is continually yelling it. Luckily, we're out of this turn, so we don't have to do that.
The price of freedom is the screaming of Kisminder.
Second Beth. Corporate Defector. I think that's in there just so that they can have something to trash.
Yeah, for sure.
Are they going to price of freedom this turn? No, they're going to run this. Stop it. You can go ahead and trash her. Second Jackson, I don't want to res it. They're going to get so many counters. I think we just purge.
Mm-hmm.
No. You're not allowed to res cards. It's constantly telling us it's not going to let us forget. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, Vita. Like Kentucky is in constant development, and of course, working alongside Nisei, who are releasing new cards. Like, my understanding is that like the Nisei developers get access to the cards much earlier, so that when Nisei releases a set, they are all active that day.
Yeah, I believe that's accurate. So this deck only has one breaker and some Mayfly. So I think we can just go ahead and purge.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
That means technically white space isn't amazing if they have Mayfly. Not that unsell. Yeah, unsell's a bit more annoying. We have a huge credit lead. I think we just throw out the sprint here. No, because we need sprint for punitive. I think we'll throw out the white space. I just worry that this will be a matchup where the Gordon doesn't matter. But the Gordon actually protects archives, which is cute. I don't know. Let's get rid of the white space.
Oh, that's true. If they ever trash enough, we can play Gordon on the next turn.
Yeah, and then they can't run archives. Oh my god, do you see this in the top right corner?
I see it.
Okay, I'm not going to fight it anymore. I think we're just going to let that happen. So they're running archives. There's nothing in there. This is where they deep dive us. They do have 5 clicks. They're going HQ. If they... Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay. We'll not res Rashida. Please, I beg you. I can't tell what's happening. They access sprint, I think. They access the Cordon. They trashed it for 4.
Oh, well, there you go. Getting value out of Gordon.
Yeah. Just as good. They're going HQ again. I think the Spin Doctor is the one thing we don't want them to trash because of the last one. I think they hit it. Yeah, they hit it. We lost our last Spin Doctor. So all 3 are in the bin if they trash this one. They trashed it. Okay. And they have another Zeki. We are not going to be able to see the chat log.
Yep.
I think we just, if they score this, they rearrange our ice, which is honestly a bit annoying. But this puts us on game point. It does give them a credit for Asa hacked IRL. This is really
Yep.
really weird, but we're on game point.
Yeah. This is not the way Hideki usually behaves.
All right. Okay.
Boy, it's so noble that you're actually trying to keep up with this.
I know, man. You have to. I can't tell what's happening. They sure gambled, I think. How do you enjoy the Gravedigger? Gravedigger is a really fun card. It actually interacts pretty well with a lot of the cards that are in the meta. Things like, NGO Front and Rashido are really cool interaction. If you're playing a lot of assembly lines, it's also really cool. As a win con though, like it's just kind of more lucky than good, as opposed to like R&D pressure or like remote pressure. So we'll see. Because if we top deck, we need to top deck an agenda right here. We could sprint it to an agenda and a seamless, and then maybe win if they don't have the black file. But also a lot of decks right now have virus hate, so like I'm not gonna like hinge all my horses to this cart. Hinge.
No, you're using that new dating app to find the right horses for you and your cart.
All right, we currently have no pop-ups. But like we can just lose out of nowhere to Gravedigger, like totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Install advance. Now they have to get through a drafter. Not that hard. So we we install and draw. We'll put the Hagen with ends to run.
That'll make things a little bit easier.
And now we just advance. So they black file or freedom.
Yeah, this is for sure.
Yellow.
Yeah, of course, unless black file.
Yeah, they could black file here. They have most of their deck, right? Black file, we have to survive for 3 turns. So that turn, we just basically purge every turn. So hopefully they can't get that much purchase. We haven't seen any of those like virus countering adding cards yet. There's not too much recursion for them either.
That's a good point. I hadn't get to 7 points and just purge.
So we can't advance. So then next turn we just purge, and we maybe ice up HQ if we draw an agenda, because Gatekeeper's gonna be tricky for them to deal with at least one turn. Chatlock's back. Okay, they milled a Tranquility and an actual real 3-pointer.
Oh well, Punitive is on.
So well, if they steal it. So we can't advance this turn. I think we actually just obviously we ice up Archives. We can't advance this turn. So I think we
Gatekeeper on Archives.
Yeah, Gatekeeper Archives. I think we also Managarm Archives.
Cephalopod, that's a great point. I don't think he's aware yet.
It's a good thing they have the pop-ups under control, but you can't you start Yeah, thanks. I figured it out. This is a bit awkward too, because it is a trashable. Like it's not the best for us. And I'm not going to draw here. I'm just going to credit. I can't advance cards because of this thing. But I'm going to say that we beat the pop-ups. So I think they're drawing for the black file here. Just don't install anything on TH. Yeah, if we don't install anything, they can't really get Gravedigger unless they what's it called? Get their injector. I forget the name of the card. But at least the Managarm here on Archives is pretty well protected if all they have is a single Mayfly. But like they have to black file now or have another Price of Freedom, and they'd have to trash their Corporate Defector, which is fine. So they're Mayflying over MU. But this is it's not a bad server. With Drafter, we actually can recover as what's it called? We can recover Spin Doctor and put it on top of this Aqua and save ourselves.
And Hagen is maximum strength right now, right?
Yeah.
Or like it's less 1 because of Mayfly, but that's pretty decent.
No, it's full strength because it's not a Decoder Fractor killer. It's actually a 6.
No, it's main ability. It's
Icebreaker. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. And they still need to have 2 credits to access this after going through or a click, so they can't steal it. So this looks like it's a win. The errors happen again. I think it would be a good idea to raise that issue in JNet. I'll poke someone from it's really good for us when we get issues because we can just like forward the VOD.
Yeah, it's true. It's better for us to do it than for most other players who aren't recording things constantly.
Yeah, we could just show like, hey, this happened. I'm on Firefox. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and I presume that like if you give like the time of game start, like a JNet dev can see behind the scenes the exact details of that game, right?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. There's a black file in there, right? Couldn't find it. Yeah, I was worried it'd show up. Nice. Yeah, it's a 1-of, obviously. There's no way to tutor it. It's also like a 4 or 5 influence card, so it's a big influence sync. I've sent a link to JNet channel GLC. Oh, thank you. Last card. Yeah, that happens. So if we check our deck, like we just want to see how many agendas are on the top of the deck to see whether Blackfelt would be an issue. And right now we'd actually be fine, right? Like we could wait 3 turns, just like literally clicking for credits every turn or purging. We could trash the pad tap. We actually might have wanted to consider trashing the pad tap a while ago. I forgot we could do that. Yeah, I saw this one.
Daijin, another Montreal guy. In fact, another NDG guy.
Gachapon is actually a semi-tutor for Blackfelt. Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's virtual.
Interesting.
Okay, the issue was like this was a very bad showcase for MT Corden. Hey, hey, cheers. That's really cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go and do a hard refresh right now onto JNet. So hopefully, we're not gonna remember when to res Rashida.
I've already forgotten.
Yeah, I think do it at the between 3 and 4 on the opponent's turn. We also had Punitive. There was a chance if we let them into the remote server that we had Punitive. Unfortunately, they couldn't steal the agenda. They just didn't have the click. But if we needed our second Punitive, which we never saw, but we had a sprint if we needed to. And we didn't draw a lot. Like we actively denied our draw because we valued our spin doctors. Okay, it's big max. So it looks like it's just good max, 70. So, you know, could be one of the world's top 2 lists. Opening hand is Hyperloop into Bran, Hyperloop into Enso. Sorry?
I kind of like this.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, you too. Is ever scoring out a Hyperloop on turn 2 good? I honestly, I don't think so.
You don't want to?
No, I don't think so. Spending your whole turn just to get 1 point feels bad, man.
Okay.
What's our remote server? It's the Bran? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So Mana Garment Bran or Hyperloop and Bran, yeah.
I don't think we can have. We definitely hedge fund here.
Yeah, for sure. So we draw.
I think
we would have drawn first.
Yeah, I think we hedge fund, and then next turn we install these 2.
So hedge fund credit.
Yeah, maybe we should have drawn because that credit's obviously not amazing. We have 2 good trashables. Oh, okay, that's good.
Okay, well,
that's cool.
Not losing anything really essential.
Oh, well, the Gordon's cool.
Okay, well, yeah, I am a big fan of NAPD Gord.
I guess we just score this. That feels bad.
Well,
if this was an ice, like we would double advance this and like do something else. You might want to add an archive memories. Yeah, the archive memories actually seems quite good. He says after being wanted on turn 1. But yeah, the archive memories seem quite good. With the it gets a single punitive to the point that's a threat. At least we have the credit lead until we res the Bran. They have access to the orchestra. There'll be 2 more Wantons in the deck. This is also likely the Maw version, which means you have to go really fast. We lost the Rashida, which is a bummer. And playing with no cards in hand is really awkward because basically anything you draw is live. Like we draw a 5/3, we have to jam it.
Right, until we get a piece of ice.
Yeah, nothing learned really.
Apocalypse turn. I've never wanted anything so bad.
Deep dive, let's go.
Andre, I think they're going to Apocalypse that 1 ice.
Get him. All right, we have Hagen. So we can at least draw once. Oh, that's good for the remote. Do we just double down on the remote, or do we?
I think so. Like, that seems fine with me, honestly.
Really? Double barrier remote?
Yeah.
I think we need Ice HQ R&D.
All right, so draw 1.
Because this is going to take us a couple turns. Yeah, draw once is right. Oh.
Okay, now we're
talking.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so next turn we can click this twice and then ice up whatever central we think is relevant. They lost 1 Labor Rates, lost Rizeki. It's a D99. Okay, so this might be off a Worlds list, but this is a really cool card for recursion. They can only recur Anarch cards, and when it says when you trash a card, it can be off the max draw. So sometimes you just get these counters for free.
Oh, true, yeah.
All right, now they're apocalypsing us. They don't have money. They actually can't steal Aqua. Trash pad tap? I think we'll trash it before we res the Regolith.
Yes, that makes sense.
Because their money is really bad, and we are an economic differential deck. So I don't think we need to ice anything. We'll just res this and crack off the 6.
Makes sense.
Okay. Okay, so the Gordon they know we have in hand. Unfortunately, the top of our ID is still open. We'll put a Hagen there. It's not a great Hagen, like spending 4 just to end the run. You definitely want to trash a Rizeki or something with this if you can. But as soon as we draw an agenda, we can do install Man, the fact that we have like just raw 4/3s with vulnerability audit. And the question was like, why not play food in this list? But like, honestly, food doesn't change much, right? Like,
No, I
food is a
don't think
2-pointer, so no matter what, they have to steal 3 agendas to win the game. So food does not change anything, unless they steal like 2 foods and a 1-pointer and a 3-pointer. Like, it's not likely to have an impact on the game. That's
so. Moshing.
the
Okay.
weird thing with foods and 3-pointers. It's not always the best choice. All right, they shuffled back in Labor Rights, Paladin, Poemo, and Overclock. And they deuces to continue drawing. Oh no, they trashed those with moshing. It's not Labor Rights. And it's 2 Labor Rights out, actually. You definitely want to keep track of those. All right, they're going here. They have a click left and 4 cards, so they can deal with a Kaw. Nothing. I've been playing with a coaster all night. I don't know if it's been really obnoxious on microphone.
I don't think I picked it up.
They exposed a Brawn, so now they have to make a run. So I reckon they'll go HQ here, but they know there's a Brawn here. So they're going back on R&D. They know this card. So that not the best deuces. It's a white space.
Well, there you go. That could be like, I think install the white space and then click for more credits.
Yeah. White space R&D?
Yeah.
Just annoying enough. I would love to like just smash an agenda. Oh, we actually could have Hagen there too, I think. Hagen for HQ is not the worst. Yeah, we maybe wanted to double install there with Asa. Whatever.
Oh, true. Yeah, we could have. You're right. Yeah.
Because having this on HQ is good, because if we have to power draw, but if we power draw and we find an agenda, we'll jam it into server 1, even if we can't score it next turn. The issue is that the Brawn doesn't hold. And in terms of breakers, I think it's only the Orchestra right now. Yeah, Aeneas Informant means a Maw is going to come down, and once their Maw is down, like we need to ice up HQ. Only 1 counter in District 99 feels maybe a bit unlucky. I wonder if this is a 69 list and they just added the 70th district.
Can you stay on that for a while? I guess I forgot how this works.
Yeah, so it gets
it's specifically program or piece of hardware. That's why it's not getting counters.
Yeah, exactly. So when if they trash a Borealis or
perhaps that's the wrong card to a Borealis.
No, it's the right one. You can go through this. They still have Ivad Warriors, right? We've seen one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it. Yeah, that's
so we're gonna click this. We're gonna double install this so we can draw once. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Brawn's good because you only need 2 botchless counters a lot of the time. We might want to consider keeping a Hagen in hand. Actually, do we have Ice and Archives? Yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah,
Fenris. We're going to see Steve Cambridge. They're going to run HQ.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Stevie C.
Bring back
a Labor Right. What?
Oh.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, we are not really showcasing Gordon.
No, not at all. So here they can pull double Labor, I reckon. They also could just pull like double deuces. That'd be fine.
Yeah. Although, do they want one of the Labors to be removed from the game?
If we're going fast enough, which we don't entirely look like we're going fast enough. Oh, it's double Overclock, which is good. But like their breakers are still like totally hidden. All right, we lost everything, but we're gonna res this ahead of schedule. Poor Gordon. Don't tell me when to res it. We have a seamless, but that's not actually that useful.
It's all advance once.
I feel like we should just double advance.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because like, what?
I was thinking
because next turn we could seamless and install Rashida if we really wanted to.
Yeah, poor Gordon.
Still haven't seen a punitive yet. We definitely want an ice on HQ because they're going to get Steve value every turn, which is pretty absurd. So I think,
either a Tragically Hip song or a Gordon Lightfoot song or a Bare Naked Ladies song that could translate to Netrunner somehow. I feel like maybe Broke Into the Old Apartment feels like Inside Job.
I don't know the Tragically Hip that well. I just know the Hornets staying me. And then I had a Feverish Chill. It's a good song.
Maybe the next like Ontario set will feature like Bob Cajun Grid.
The people at Nisei were really excited to have their entirely southern Ontario cycle.
Exactly.
What is this?
I think
CN
the Great
Tower?
Lakes would be.
What,
Yeah,
what,
the
what
CN Tower
do you
being like
mean?
the 1,000th tallest building in the Netrunner world.
It's a small building, yeah.
Hmm.
What do you mean you're open for business? No credits, no breakers. Wow.
I didn't even get that. That took a second.
Okay, here we're in.
Why why is there an operation called Buck a Beer?
Most of my homebrew decks were basically the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Oof. I think we'll give them cast just because it's slower.
Sure.
We don't want burst economy.
Did I tell you that my uncle was actually on a ship in the Great Lakes the night the Edmund Fitzgerald went down?
Get out.
The Edmund Fitzgerald went down within like in the 70s. I thought it was when I first heard that song. I thought it was like an ancient ship, but no,
No.
it's like
Yeah. It's a modern thing.
it's a modern thing, and so
Yeah.
he was like on a Canadian steamship line's ship during that storm.
That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna top deck a Gordon, and then we're gonna top deck next turn a Seamless, just so the play is like alive and well. They,
Yeah,
they actually can steal it. 50-50.
come on.
I think we're happy no matter what they do here. You can have a Thesis, I guess. They hit the Rashida.
Yep.
Still no breakers. They're playing the Deuces.
They wouldn't do one ofs in a. It's two ofs in this deck, right?
The
For
breakers? A lot of times they're three
Yeah.
ofs just because the deck's so big.
Of course.
Dirty Laundry HQ, they don't have the click to steal a call.
Oh, perfect. Love that.
Love to see it. Now we'll see what card they discard because they discard a breaker. Otherwise, it's just heart of the cards.
Piffed indeed.
Got him. That's a big lol. Yeah. So they need a click and 2 credits to steal. They only had a click. Do we even install the Eli?
And maybe trash the Botulus. Like we have the money.
I don't think we trash the Botulus. It gives them a D99 counter.
Hmm.
Do we have the money? Because we need 5 for this. Then we have 10 credits to spend on this. No, we don't have the money. No. No matter what, they have to deal with the Hagen.
Mm-hmm.
I think we do trash this though. I don't think the D99. No. Because then this costs us 2 to install, so we're on 13 now.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate that the Sisenton actually would be worse than the white space in this situation. And they know they need to do this on first, second, or third click. They do probably have an overclock in hand. We know they have an overclock in hand. They just hit their paperclip. So it's not looking good for us, man. At least we'll give them agenda. Why keep the Sisenton? It's cute.
Yeah. That's basically it.
Yeah, they're overclocking straight in.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Do we bankrupt ourselves raising this stuff? They don't have an MK Ultra, so the Sisenton hits, and if it hits a Labor, it's like we actually have like a line of play here. Well, no, not true, because they have Steve. Yeah, maybe we don't. We should have trashed both of these for Eli into this, but they can still deal with it. So they have 11 credits. I think we still res the Hagen, right?
I think res that
So
and
it's
res
still
the
9
Sisenton.
credits. I don't know if we res the Sisenton.
I think we do.
It's close. If we could actually res an Eli here, we would have them. Because they still need 2 credits. Man, that's unfortunate. Yeah, the Eli, if we trashed both of these and put an Eli, we would have been okay here. Yeah, let's give him to him. There's a chance we win. There's a small chance we win. We're naming event, right?
I think we're naming event because we want to hit that last labor right or something.
What? We did 1 damage? We hit an IVAD worse.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, okay, we paid 5 to do that.
In that case, we did do 4 net damage in the end, I think. So
Yeah, but they drew deeper into their deck.
Mhm.
Like it was massively pretty bad for us. And now punitive is actually like really unlikely. At least all 3 IVAD worses are out, so the punitive is a bit easier. We didn't give them a District 99 counter, I don't think. And now they're gonna bring back like a card that they lost. So all overall, pretty bad. If they pulled back 2 IVAD worse, we're like really dead.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Eli was actually the play there. If we just trash these and put an Eli, yeah, they're doing double IVAD worse, so they understand they were a punitive list. Even though we haven't shown anything that would suggest it. Like our deck is really vanilla.
Or they just plan on running through Seisenton without a breaker again.
Oh, it was here the whole
That
time.
will. Aw, part of the
Oh, it was
cards.
here.
And they're just gonna wanton us. Come on.
Oh.
There are
Okay.
2 credits.
Yeah.
No, okay. No, we can't afford to. Oh, we can't even cordon.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't think they run this. This looks like a Rashida. There's a chance that we actually sneak this out. Dirty Laundry or Sure Gamble? You can pick the Sure Gamble.
Oh yeah, because they can't play it
They
yet.
can't play it actively, so it'll spend most of their turn trying to play that instead of like running server 1. Top deck a second
makes sense.
seamless. We don't need one.
Yeah, it's a 4/3. Although it would be nice to score that for only 2 credits. There we go.
We did it. We believed
Gordon's
it. Okay.
not doing anything.
No joke. This is the worst card. Like so bad to lose to this thing. Like it feels terrible to be like, oh, sorry, that's a 3-pointer, lol. Like it's so anticlimactic.
Yeah. Well, feels good to me. So
Yeah.
exclamation point.
Oh, it sneaks one out. Gwen, how's it going? Happy New Year. 31 to 32 credits. Really low scoring game. So far, Gordon, not a single play. Not even once. But in that game, like we were set up to do it, but the triple wanton seemed like a...
Yeah, it's not that it wasn't the right play. Like sometimes it would have been nice to have it. It's just it wasn't in our hand at the right time.
Yeah. Like, yeah, we're sticking to our guns, Pat. We can play Gordon at least once. Yeah, we got really lucky that broke through at the right time.
Yeah.
Because eventually this R&D falls apart. The remote server is actually pretty bad. Oh, I just shuffled. But like this remote server, the Seisenton actually is pretty bad for the deck. Against Anarchs, doesn't do much. It's really expensive. I don't know. Thanks to the game, eh? I feel like there has to be a better way to spend influence than like a very expensive ice that dents them. Did anybody do anything so far? We haven't played it once.
Maybe we do go for Afshar and just let an influence hang.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's shuffle things a bit. Because I think we do Afshar. I think we do Archive Memories because that's basically a fourth what's it called? Punitive?
Seamless or punitive.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's a fourth any number of things. It's a good card apparently.
I think the sprint is good because we need to find combo pieces and we're struggling to find combo pieces. We can't cut Gordon's because of the law. Gordon's law.
Gordon's law. Gordon's law is that the card you cut, the one of card you cut, is the one that would have worked in your most important matchup.
Yeah. Happy New Year's.
After Gordon, the Bare Naked Ladies album.
Doing okay. Got an essay I've got to do tomorrow, but for some reason, Body decided to wake up at 4 in the morning, reading out of one of the Witcher books while I watch. Hey, enjoy the books. Hopefully the essay goes okay.
I finally started watching the Witcher Netflix show. It's great. Like
the
first season was one of the best Netflix shows for sure.
Is the second one out now?
Yeah, the second one's out.
Okay. Dude, unfortunately, like cutting Gordon's like the easy thing to do here, huh?
No, it isn't. It isn't the easy.
Okay. Gordon is our Managarm. We've agreed on that.
Exactly. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Placing Managarm with Gordon. That's what we do here at the Metropole Grid. We give cards the chance to shine that they need.
14 ice feels like way too little with Asa.
Absolutely, it's not enough.
It is not enough. I don't know how to fix it. Like we could drop a Hyperloop for 3-2, but if we lose that 3-2, we have a lot of work to do. Like the Hyperloops have been like, nice. Nice, kind of.
No, you're right.
I'll try this. Yeah, but the ice has been a bit light.
The punitive angle is also not doing anything for us.
You say that, but we've had a pretty substantial credit differential in both of those games. At least like we've had money and have been jamming at the same time. I honestly don't feel too bad about the punitive.
Yeah, like
it's just we haven't drawn the punitives.
Yeah, like enough money that maybe you wish you had Consulting Visit in the deck, or
no, yeah, in the first game, not in the second game. Did we just jam in 6 Wayland cards? We're already at 4. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it is an alliance card. I forgot that.
Okay, Lat's a problem because punitive is very, very bad against Lat. Because because Lat can have 6 cards in hand. So we want to dump our hand, which isn't the hardest thing to do with Asa. I reckon we just want to do Rashida Gatekeeper, maybe Ice Eli on HQ. We'll see what we get. That's a fine hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still think we do that. I think so. The first is Rashida Gatekeeper. Second is I think we want to Eli HQ. So the question is, do we draw or do we credit? I think we just credit.
Yeah.
Because we have 6 credits worth of ice. Yeah, that tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to keep low cards in hand, so it's harder for Lat to get his free draw. Because if we end up with 5 cards in hand and Lat has 5 cards in hand, Lat can draw up to 6, which means we can never punitive unless we triple punitive, which is something you don't see every day. Oh, Leech, wow. Not expecting that. I wonder if it's admin. Not running R&D. I think they just missed. Yeah, that checks.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Of course, don't let them. Oh,
no. We're not gonna let them do it.
I mean, no, this is a pretty high stakes game. I wouldn't allow it.
Okay, so Leech gets a virus counter every time they make a successful run on a central server, and you can trade these to lower ice strength, which is good. It's like getting a credit on a lot of ice breakers. Okay, so we want to get the Leech value as a minimum. So I think white space is pretty good for R&D. We have a tranquility for the remote that we could do with a Brawn. So we have a mixed type of ice on the remote server, and then we could keep maybe the Spin Doctor for next turn.
All right,
so that we get tranquility. Yeah, because our first. Oh no.
Nope.
Well, everybody gets one. I don't even ask. Like, can I take that back? Because like, of course you can.
Oh yeah.
But like, who would say no? You clicked a new server and lose the game. Like, come on. I'm not asking for that. Now we have 4 cards in hand. They got the free draw, didn't they? I think they did. Smartware Distributor. Oh, okay. You don't see that every day. VRcation to draw to 4, get a free click. Like, they couldn't have planned it better.
Are they playing a startup deck?
Yes. Looks like it.
Okay.
Do Res Tranquility just jam Hyperloop? We don't guard in a Hyperloop, right? They're not running with no breakers. I think we draw once. Yeah, there we go. So now we actually can like install something on this remote server.
Yeah, that's fair. So, yeah, and we're going for credits for now, right?
Oh yeah. Wait, why is our Asa ability not fire?
Well, you skipped it. You said done.
Really?
Everybody gets 2.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sorry, man.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was a weird thing to do. Diogy, nothing? Sorry? IAA? I don't like IAA on this bad boy. I don't think we need to. You're right. Next turn we might want to AA. And actually IA is actually fine because then we can do AA score. So I think actually IA was better than credit. Boomerang HQ here. Res Eli. I don't think that's an important thing for us to do.
Not yet.
Oh, don't trash it.
Please don't trash.
Hey guys.
I've never wanted anything.
Oh, it's only 2 to trash? I thought it was 4. I thought it was like every other lockdown. Why is this 2 to trash?
I've never asked you for anything. No. Epic win. No. Why are you like this?
This is the problem. If they hit the Spin Doctor, we feel a bit upset. Maybe we should res the Eli just to stop this from happening.
Oh, right. Well, NEPD has taxed them some credits every now and then by being trashed.
Yeah, advancing this was so much better because we could get install, we could get a Tranquility, we could in theory get an Asa. Like it was pretty bad. I think we do advance, and then credit, and then next turn, like worst comes to worst, we can archive memories for Rashida to put in the remote. Maybe we should have just scored that actually. The clicking for credit wasn't better than scoring. We should have scored. Yeah, we definitely should have scored there. We would have had more money.
Yes.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
I'll res now. We'll have 5 credits, which is enough. Yeah, they're also getting leeches. We should res. I personally can't wait until we get to play NBD Cordon and NBD Cordon deck. Yo, 2023 is going to be a hell of a year, let me tell you. Man, Hyperloop exchange of information. You think what I'm thinking?
Oh.
Trade those little ones for those big 3s.
Oh yeah, playing mind games. They think it's a 5-3. They don't know what's
It's
up
just
yet.
a little hyperloop. They're gonna boomerang run remote, and then actually it's an issue if they target it correctly, because we can only res one of these ice. Making
Yeah,
them think
but
it's a 5-3. Yeah, it's just we don't gain much from it.
and they've got a 1 in 3 chance of doing that. I don't know. I wouldn't be too worried about that.
Simo chip, no breakers yet or programs. They're getting there every single turn. They're ladding us. Oh, I'm scared.
I'm a little worried.
Just kidding. Oh, we can't archive Gordon. I would love to archive Gordon here. No, gain 2. I really don't like the fact that we took Mana Garm out, because it was like the cool thing we could do on our acid
Yeah.
turns. Because like we're not gonna acid this remote anymore. We're not putting a 4th ice there. I think archives for NAPD might actually just happen just because we want to. Maybe 14 credits.
14 credits and a stuffed leech, but nothing to pay. Nothing to use those leech counters or credits on.
This vulnerability audit does make you feel vulnerable. Like just having a 4-3 floating around.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been surprisingly okay.
Looks like they're gonna let us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, they're ladding so seamlessly. Speaking of seamlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Another turn we don't trigger our tranquility feels bad. Is bad. But we're on game point. So let's get an Ikawa. Let's get some punitives. Let's get that archive Cordon. Okay, so what's the game plan here? We have to install archives, play the Cordon. Because the safest place for NAPD Cordon is actually in our archives with an archive memories in hand. Like, we figured it out.
So then what do we want to draw vulnerability and seamless launch?
Yeah.
So we can play something without
Or 2 seamlesses in the 5-3. Yes, you figured it out.
Yeah. Or we use the Spin Doctor to shuffle it back into the deck and then draw it with Sprint.
Yeah, I think we sprint next turn for sure. There's the admin, which makes sense. So let's see what they call here. They know there's a 4 here. They're calling 3, and 3 lines up with nothing really else. Oh, Imp is scary. Why 3? There's no 3 strength ice. Maganet? So the reason why they do low strength with admin, a lot of times people will do like 1 at 4, 1 at 1 or 0, and then use leeches to like, you know, to break the difference. Don't hit archive memories.
Yeah, it's kind of a
We're not playing Gordon, guys.
It's kind of a rich man's worm. No, just use Spin Doctor. Get Gordon's back in the deck.
Okay, do we sprint here? Because I want to put Rashid in server 1, that's for sure.
All right. So sprint first if we're going to sprint.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
So we shuffle 2 back.
We shuffle that Tranquility and the Spin Doctor, I guess, because we can't shuffle back in Gordon.
Yeah, we're not allowed to shuffle back. Obviously, shuffling Gordon is the right play here, but we legally are not allowed to. But we want the Spin Doctor because they're going to imper punitive whatever. We know what we have to do. Oh, we could have installed this first to draw a card, actually. That might have been smart. But hey, we need credits. So every turn that they want to run HQ here, it's going to be 2 credits and a leech counter.
1 leech and 2 credits, yeah.
Well, yeah, 1 leech counter because they get it back. Oh, sorry, no leech counters because they get it back. The white space is actually properly annoying because admin's at 3. Yeah. Now they can always fix admin on the live with Simulchip. This isn't a Cordon deck because it's the card you play to protect your points. It's a Cordon deck because it's the mascot of the deck.
Yeah, kind of like our Fencer Fueno deck way back in the day.
Fencer Fueno is the best one. Now, this is the thing you have to watch out. It's like there is this kind of like natural narrative here. Oh, no, not Steve. It's Steve again. This is the issue with Steve existing, is like everybody's just gonna play Fenris Steve. Like that's it's such a good card for One Influence. Yo, Dane, how's it going? Finally I can catch a live stream with MVP Pat. Yo, tell him.
Hey, how's it going? Most vulnerable Patrick. That's what they call me.
They're gonna hit our Gordon.
No, they wouldn't.
No, there's no way they can't. This thing is this is the actual magnet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Give them Varcation.
Yeah. Oh, seamless. They're gonna imp that. Okay. Question is whether they value their simul chip on the imp or whether they value their simul chip for the admin. But hey, Gordon lives. We have a Gordon turn next turn. We could win. If this draws perfectly into a 5-3, hell, a 4-3. Yeah, and a will is the correct attitude to have here. I think Diesel was actually correct because they were going to draw at the end of the turn no matter what. We'd rather just let them draw less. Money matters, but they're making 4 credits next turn. I don't know. Don't tell me when I can and can't play this. Pat, we can't double Gordon. We can't double Gordon. It's impossible. But we can. No,
but what you can do is install advanced Gordon.
Oh, wait, do we?
And then we have Gordon next turn also.
I think we trash the brand and play a Maganet. No, it's 3 strength. No, none of this ice is good against admin.
Yeah. Okay, so we install advance once.
Yeah.
Right?
No, we have to double advance. Why? Why did we think this was a good play?
But Gordon.
I know, but we can't score.
Do you think
you're right, yeah.
I goddamn care if we can score.
Okay, advance Gordon.
What
okay.
Are you even saying?
So we have to top deck the last seamless. Because this is 8 credits for them to steal the Iqua project. Now, obviously, they have imp, and we're not going to talk about that. This was the wrong play by a mile.
No, it wasn't. Because we have Gordon, we play Gordon. Have Gordon play Gordon. Have Gordon play Gordon.
That's true.
Have Gordon play Gordon. It's on my T-shirt.
I don't know what to think about the current board state. It's fine. Like, this is what all our games have been. Just kind of like jamming HB stuff. Sure gamble, drawing with Anacom. Good value. Man, Verification draws 5. That's so good. Now, the smart wares are dead. I don't think this is the turn that they can afford to do it because they know this thread's live. They have to go for this remote server. Just play Gordon 2 turns. We actually are. We're going to slow gold. And the problem is, like, as soon as they see it once, they're just going to imp it. They'll be like, I don't care. Because this dish costs the steal, not the access.
Have Gordon play
Gordon.
Can I get a chant going in the chat?
A Gordon? They're just going to imp it. We have to, like, A Gordon and, like, errata our list to get Managarm back in. Do we actually have good ice for this situation? We need, like, a 2 strength ice. We need Enigma.
Have Gordon will travel.
What? What's that mean?
I'm just thinking of other the Gordon is a harsh mistress.
Open for Gordon. It's Ontario's new slogan.
Yeah. Bucka Gordon.
Always
Je
Gordon.
me souviens de Gordon. Wild Gordon country.
Those are the only ones I know. Yeah, that's Alberta.
I should know like BCs. I don't know why I'm remembering, and the Yukon. I don't know why I don't know those.
I'm glad that you also almost call British Columbia Vancouver all the time.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Not just me. Creative Commission, wow. They have no clicks left, so they're banking on the imp here.
But, oh my god. But that agenda.
Yeah, they're just imp it. They're just imp it.
Yeah, they do have the imp, of course. But they don't know they don't know that.
All this ice is a really bad... Actually, resing the Gatekeeper is cute because then the admin's useless. So this is 7 credits. That will half our credits. Yeah, we'll do it. So is the idea of the deck is taking advantage of the fact that Stimhack is gone? That's every single corp deck. I don't know what you're talking about.
Gordon's Fisherman.
Can't res that. Can't afford that. Oh, they're gonna have 5 cards. Wait, do we not res and double punitive them?
Do we have double punitive?
We could top deck it.
That's true. We will top deck it.
But they need an imp. If they don't imp at the right time, we don't win. But I'm gonna res this, so I think our punitive plan's off because like this becomes 0 strength, which means admin's stressful. Yeah, we can't afford that. If I had a million Gordons, I'd buy some good mac and cheese.
A nice Reliant Canadian mail.
Oh, they can't break this.
Yeah,
they don't have enough leeches. This draws a seamless launch.
It does.
This draws a seamless launch. Draw 300. Seamless launch. Win. Ah, shit. Shovel 3 back? Yeah, we'll shovel that back.
Yeah, we are going to top deck a seamless, though. We have a better chance of doing that.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay, advance Gordon.
No, advance hedge fund Gordon.
I swear to God,
no, advance hedge. I'm Gordoning.
It is 11:22 p.m. on a work night, and you are going to Gordon.
I'm Gordoning. Watch me, Gordon. Yeah, gamble advance Gordon. That's fair.
Okay, so now we are like
we're so dead to imp. Now, okay, let's all talk about this. This
I don't
agenda
care.
costs. Let's imagine imp isn't a card, right? Like this agenda costs 10 credits.
Cost 10 credits. Yeah.
Bologna looks like shit. Well, come see my NGO. Watch me, Gordon.
Watch me, Nene. Yeah, I whip my Gordon back and forth.
Now, a cool thing is that while this Gordon looks like a terrible play, it protects every other. It protects every server.
True. It protects everything.
So
if they go into R&D.
No matter how like horribly you lose on the remote server, you still think, well, they didn't go R&D because of Gordon. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, they have 4
Magic
clicks.
Arm only ever protects one server. I'm teaching how to Gordon. I'm trying to think of what really inappropriate song lyrics I can just slot Gordon into.
Starting with Diesel. That's a clean 4 cards off the top. They need another simul chip or a decoder. Yeah, either of those. Now they also need to spend 2 leech counters on the Hagen, which means that we could maybe get them with the brand.
My neck, my back, my Gordon. I don't know.
What is that?
I'll tell you later.
Head and shoulders, knees and toes. All right. Well, they're gonna have 6 cards in hand, no matter what. So we're gonna overclock. Yeah. Okay. That's cool, I guess.
But they're definitely not gonna simul chip imp before they get to that server. That's my prediction. Because they have to simul chip the admin. Oh no!
No, I think they're gonna SMC for something. Yeah. The issue though is like the admin's gonna struggle with the Braun.
All right, that wins. The Gordon of Eden makes much more sense.
The Gordon of Eden is very quite good. No, they can just pull out a breaker. They can pull out a paperclip. Whoa. Dude, I think we got them. Because this is 5 strength and there's an admin at 3. Gordon actually did something. This is 6 strength. They have to get rid of their admin, and if they get rid of their admin, they can't equal Gordon.
Yep.
Have we done it?
Gwen, that's the best way to assert dominance.
Have they been out Gordoned?
Yeah, I think they have. They must have been out Gordoned. They're going to get there with 8 credits, thinking it's not Nikawa. Who runs Equal anymore?
They've been... I don't know. Maybe they get obviously Shaper, so who knows what can happen here? But there's a chance the combination of a high strength brand, which let me tell you, first card we put in the deck, we're gonna build this deck around this brand. On top of Gordon. Gordon combat. This silence means they're mathing out. Which seems like a win for us. Like not an actual I'm not saying we're gonna win, but like it seems like a good thing. They only have 12 credits. Again, Gordon. That's a 10 credit Ikwa. So they need to get through all this for 2 credits. Ikwa. Yeah. Patrick.
Andre, what's happening? They're letting us. They've got 1 more click left.
Fire all subroutines. I don't even know what the subroutines are. I'm just way too excited. They have 1 more click left. They can't win. You may install a piece of ice from HQ archives inwards. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess this is this is nice.
It doesn't cost anything, sure. Oh, we could have used Asa. Interesting.
Yeah. Install over the agenda. On a scale of 1 to really wish this was StimHack, I wonder how the runner's feeling. You're feeling okay. Overclock's fine.
I appreciate you not swearing, despite them giving the opportunity to.
I think we did it. I think we did it. Simul chipping for the imp so that the other Gordon doesn't do anything. Oh wait, no, I don't know what's happening at this point. Oh, they have to trash. I don't know what happened.
They just brought back an SMC. I don't know why.
Because they wanted to trash the imp. Because they goofed their sequencing. They should have trashed the imp when they installed the Unity. Patrick, my dear friend. Do you know who protects agendas better than any other defensive upgrade HB has access to?
It's my friend, Gordon Shemway.
GG stands for Gordon.
It definitely does, yeah.
Gordon game.
Gordon game, everybody.
Gordon game. Should I pack? I was surprised you didn't. Surprised
Yeah.
you didn't.
Good Gordons all around.
3 is Magnet, right? Good Gordon, Magic Gordon. Yeah, so I think 4 is just like the knee-jerk Atman, because Atman was played classically back in the day very commonly to deal with Eli because it was really hard to do. That's an interesting choice.
Dane, I don't know what you're talking about. I was referring to a Raffi song about the human body. So
The deck came through. Time to retire for the night. I know. Although I could just Unity that, I guess. Yeah, I think so. Is this a startup deck?
no, they've got enough. They've got Atman, right?
That's
no,
startup.
Atman is update. Yeah, no, they've got Fenris. That's it.
Oh, Fenris. Undefeated JNet. I know. Publish a list. You tell me. No. They have Fenris, so that can't be. Oh, Imp is startup. Turning Wheel isn't as well. So nearly. This is actually a really easy deck to play in startup. It's a cool deck. On Gordon's GNet. Good old Gordon net. Hey, cheers. All right. Okay, Pat, we've done it. Gordon is the card. It's fine. It's good. It's good. It's good to find.
We have satisfied our purpose. In fact, that was our resolution for the new year. We can pause until January 1st, 2023. This whole Metropole Grid, Metropole Gordon scenario.
Till the new Gordon shows up. I'm just gonna move my it's hard to see the whole deck list. Okay. I do think if you want to play NAPD Gordon, you can play it in just about anything else. Like, it's a very flexible card. I think when we started this, we said like the biggest problem with it is Imp, and you saw how Imp basically made none of those decisions that interesting. I think there's definitely, if we spent more time, a better deck to be made out of this. I think Gordons with 5/3s are interesting. We also could have considered, instead of playing Tranquility, playing La Costa, which we mentioned is like a pretty Gordon on the cob, which is like a pretty easy way to slot these things together. So long as Gordon's Natural Predator Imp isn't around, we're good to Gordon all the Gordons. Heck yeah, we is. I think that's it for tonight, Pat. Oh, Pat froze. Hold on. Now we can't leave. He's not that stoic. Okay, well, now I'm blacked out. Hold on. Because he doesn't know when this happens. I don't think there's any indication on his side, so he's going to be talking right now.
Are we back?
Hey, I think so. I can hear you. I can't see you.
Okay, I don't know if Discord heard me saying Octopus is Gordon, and that's why it shut off. I think that's my suspicion, that whoever's listening through Discord is like, I don't think that should be allowed, and I'm gonna shut the stream down now.
Yeah, you had a good portrait. It froze on actually not too unflattering a position, which is good. Metropolitan board.
Not too unflattering is what I'm looking for these days.
It's Gordon enough. Does this make Imp Batman? He kind of no, he doesn't actually look like Gordon. Does he? Wait, why did that show up? I just hovered my mouse at the top of the screen, and did you see Gordon there for a second? I'm not joking. That happened, right?
I didn't see that, but
no, he doesn't really at all. Anyway, we gotta stop saying that word before it loses all of its power. But I think that's gonna be it for tonight.
We'll see.
Pat, thanks so much for joining. We'll be back in a week or so. I reckon we're gonna do some weird streams, something else maybe this month. We'll figure it out. But I'm excited to see more spoilers if those do come out. I don't know again how they spoiler a booster pack.
Yeah, maybe it'll be one card a day. I can't remember how they did it for the other one. I think it was just all at once.
Yeah, I think it was all at once, right?
But I wouldn't mind one card a week until it's released, because that seems like roughly with the timeline they're looking at. So
that'd be cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
Gordon Penn Gordon says there's a specter haunting the stream, the specter of Gordon. I think our stream is a veritable Gordon of Earthly Delights at this point.
Weird. Seems weirder than this. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But that's largely it for tonight. Again, thanks for everyone hanging out in chat, everyone who's watching on the VOD. Hopefully you're doing well. Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully you're having a good one so far. It's we got a whole year ahead of us, so buckle up, I reckon. And that's largely it. Thanks, Pat, so much for joining.
As always, it was a pleasure. Thanks everyone in chat for talking to us.
Cool. Take care, y'all.
Sorry, I thought you were going to talk.
Thanks for talking.
All right, bye everybody.
Ciao. Take care, y'all.